The Stanley Cup Playoffs is brought to you by Coors Light, proud partner of the John Wayne Cancer Institute. To join in the fight against cancer, call 1-888-700-DUKE. By MasterCard. MasterCard, the official card of the NHL. And by the 1997 Pontiac Bonneville, luxury with an attitude.
Game 4 in the East is coming up. John Saunders and Barry Melrose. The Rangers, they're bruised, they're battered, they haven't scored much. And what do they look for tonight?
And the worst part is they're talking about that. They've got lots of excuses to quit, but I think the most important guy, and Billy said one guy's got to win it for him, and I agree with that, but I think it's going to be Richter, the guy who plays against him 60 minutes. He is a guy that has won a Stanley Cup. I think he's the best goaltender in the Eastern Conference. He has to be the guy tonight to shut down this Philadelphia team. He's done it in the past in different series, but tonight they need him. Gretzky and Messier have to score, yes, but this is a beaten, bruised, shaky team mentally. They need Mike Richter to win a game for him tonight.
All right, in the West last night, it's been a surprise throughout the entire round. It's been all Detroit. They should have won in a sweep, and last night things got really ugly. That's Fedorov with the long pass to Kozlov, who just came out of the penalty box, goes to his forehand, beats Patrick Waugh. And then look at this one. Waugh looked like he saw it the entire way. It was from the blue line. Did not look like it was screened, but he just whipped at it.
Well, nothing's going right for Detroit. Even the goaltending for Colorado, which is normally winning games for him, isn't winning. But I think Colorado has to go home and win one game. They can't look at winning 3. They have to win 1, and that's at home, and then the pressure goes to Detroit.
All right, we'll look at more of that between periods. But right now, out to Madison Square Garden, it's the Flyers and the Rangers.
John Barry, thank you very much, and welcome here on this Friday night. Another packed house will be on hand at the Garden as the Flyers will try and get a W that could take them home for Sunday with a chance to wrap up the Eastern Conference Championship. This man wants to try and stop it.
And he wants to stop it and start his game plan early, which is get into the Flyers zone. The Rangers felt they played on their half of the red line, which is really true for most of the first period in each one of these games. As a matter of fact, the Flyers have generated the first 6 scoring chances in all 3 of the games in this series so far. The Rangers really want to try and start fast, but they got to start first of all against Eric Lindros and his line.
Rangers are 7-0 in the playoffs when they score first. Kerry Fraser's our referee tonight, ready to drop the puck as Graves is out there to take on Lindros. There are stories in the New York papers today that Adam Graves is being bothered by a bad back that he had operated on 3 years ago. Talked with him prior to tonight's game. Adam said it is not bothering me at all. Those stories are not true. So Graves will be out there to take on Lindros again. Face-off will come back out to center.
Colin Campbell had to put together a new set of defensemen to play against Eric Lindros. Jeff Beukeboom and Ulf Samuelsson are going to play their 2nd game ever together. This experiment was tried season before this one in San Jose for 1 period, and it didn't work.
Tough to try defensemen together at this point in the season and ask them to get it together, but that's what's being asked here tonight. At center ice, it is tipped away. Dallas Eakins is out there in this line. He had a great game, too, for the Rangers defensively. Brought back in near side. Zuber's shot blocked. Puck sits right there in the face-off dot. Didn't go anywhere. Backhanded in wide of the net by Leclerc. Rangers able to clear it out. Desjardins back at center. It'll be dumped right back in. All the way around far side. Flyers will change it up. Sent out of the zone by Churla. Rangers will get their change on right here. They get back on side, sent in, nobody there. Desjardins again back at center waiting. They clear it back. Platt dumps it wide side. Otto heading into the net for Otto. The tip, and it just went wide. Joel Otto cutting through with a chance. Platt trying to hold it in and did in the corner. Beukeboom. Furious pace to start this game, just as you would expect by both teams who want to gain that early edge.
Calm, cool, and collected by the Flyers. I mean, the Rangers really want to come at the Flyers, and they did that when the Flyers had the puck. Flyers spotted the open man, dumped it in. Really in control of this series so far. Trent Klatt, if not the unsung hero, then one of the leading candidates for the MVP in this series for the Philadelphia Flyers. He is scoring. Besides scoring, he is hitting, doing just about everything. He banged Brian Leetch. That is why Brian Leetch has the bad wrist. That happened back in Game 2, and then he put out his brother-in-law. Kenny Jernander and Trent Klatt married twin sisters. They're not speaking now. And then to add insult to injury, Trent Klatt scored the winning goal for the Flyers on a great passing play with Sean Cody.
Leetch able to clear it out. He almost got it through, but that doesn't count. Outstanding play by Dykhouse. Carl Dykhouse got back and blocked that as Robitaille was cutting up the middle. Ranger players saying before the game that they want to try more of those long passes, both cross ice and up ice. Courtnall, who had a great last game, intercepts and sends it in. The Rangers use the long passes to beat New Jersey in particular and Florida on those trap defenses. They've not done it against Philadelphia. Philadelphia knows they want to try and do that. Philadelphia's clogged it up and prevented them so far in this series. Not back into the middle. Richter lets it go wide as Renberg sent it back in. Centering pass blocked into the corner. Leach over there with Brind'Amour as they do battle. Renberg for the puck. Renberg held it in. Litzker will pick it up, and the Rangers will get it out of the zone. Therrien back on D. Messier's line will head to the bench on the change. Sent back in. Hextall back there, watching it roll behind the net with Desjardins there to clear up for him. Lindros's line is back out. Eric Lindros leading the team in this series. 3 goals, 3 assists. Leclerc also 6 points, 1 and 5. Boom, side of the net. Richter trying to cover. Finally gets a whistle as the net comes off the pegs.
And here's the problem for the New York Rangers. If Terry Murray, you know he will, play this Lindros line 25 minutes, Eric might end up with 30 minutes because he double shifts him at times. If Colin Campbell wants his checkers out there against him, that's half the game the Rangers have to play with guys that really can't match the skill level or the size of Lindros. It's going to be really difficult to generate offense for at least half the game. Here's the big forecheck by the Flyers. Mike Richter tried to get it high and around Eric Lindros, but it hit him in the shoulder. Once the play gets down in this area, very important for the Flyers. We've said this from game 1. A big part of this series will be determined by where the game is played. Ulf Samuelsson is doing his best to rough Lindros up. Looked like Lindros let himself go, maybe to fall into Mike Richter there. Fell into the net, didn't look like he was hurt on the play. But if the Flyers can play in deep and down low, that's a huge advantage.
Rangers want to try and nullify Lindros more than they have, especially in the last game. That will not be an easy task. Off the face-off, one back in behind the net. Rangers facing a tenacious forecheck throughout this series. Cairns is able to get it out of there. Drop back to Driver, who sends it in. Graves couldn't receive that one. Graves out there with Gretzky on this line, and that's a take-on shot. Richter knocked it away. Trent Klatt again. Here's Therrien. His smash went wide. Rebound comes up to the blue. Sent out of there by Graves. Graves gets taken down. Desjardins came away with the puck, picked up by Otto, who goes wide side with it. Flyers want to complete a change. Therrien sends it in, and Richter's got to knock this one down. So the Flyers getting the early chances. Cairns brings it back through the middle. Both teams still in line changes here. Dumped in as Lacroix came up and held up at the blue line. Messier moved in, put the hit on, still rolled out through center. Michel Petit not playing in this game, did in the other. John Bruce is in this game for Philadelphia, and a whistle on a delayed offside call. Scoreless here in the first.
Boy, Trent Klatt has picked up exactly where he left off in game 3. He's like a wrecking crew out there, one-man wrecking crew.
Flyers the first 2 shots in this game. Rangers still looking for one through the arch. Washington Square. For our first president, we take a look at the World Trade Center downtown. Face-off coming outside the New York Ranger line. Memorial Day weekend. When you're doing this kind of work, it doesn't seem to matter. I was in the cab coming to the Garden today. Wondered why there was all the traffic of people leaving town. The cabbie said Memorial Day weekend. And no whistle again. Fans were looking for a call as Churla went down. Churla came back, put a late hit on. Lindros moves it back into the middle. It'll be chased down again by Samuelsson. And Colin Campbell keeping that group, that unit out there against the Lindros line. As Bill said, if Lindros plays a lot more, this unit is really going to be tested. That's the decision he makes, and Lindros can play a lot and not feel it. Brian Engblom downstairs with us for tonight's game. Brian?
Yeah, guys, tonight in the spotlight, one of the many guys we're going to be watching is Mark Messier. You talked a lot about him to start the game. One of the things that Mark Messier does so well is that one-foot flamingo shot. Here's an example from last game. There he's got his head up. He can shoot high or low, go 5-hole. Watch him pump with that leg and snap the stick. How many times have you seen that over the last couple of years, especially when he's flying down the wing on that right wing side? He can pick his spot. He almost never misses. Everything's on his shoulders here tonight. Watch for it. for it, guys.
Mess said before the game tonight stories about him having bad ribs was not true. Said just the bumps and bruises of playing, but otherwise he's all right. Lidster on the high flip cleared it out, and it'll move in on Hextall. And knock that one away. Blankhouse will take it back in behind the net. 4 minutes into the first period, it is scoreless. And Gretzky is out. Gretzky will drop it back into the zone. Leach near side.
This is another one of the little line changes that Colin Campbell has made. He split Messier and Gretzky up. They were together here in Game 3, but Gretzky will play in between Ursa Tikkanen and at times different people on the other side. This time it's Luc Robitaille that's out there. You may end up seeing Chris Ferraro out there.
And the Rangers again trying to clear it up. They wave off any icing on this one, so Hextall's got to go back to play it. Cleared it back up along the boards just by Gretzky and out of the zone. Lidster working with Leach on D. Brian Leach trying to drop it into the middle, partially deflected by Brendamore, cleared on by Lidster, and they say it could have been touched. Rangers and Flyers will change it up on the fly. Desjardins, he clears it off the near side. Clack dumped it in. Richter will come out to get it. Richter, the flip around the boards, not out of the zone. Held in. Ooh, big hit over there. That was Therrien who got leveled to break up ice, trying to get the man who put the hit on. Courtnall's got a 2-on-1. Courtnall with Messier. It bounced over his stick. And remember that one. A 2-on-1 opportunity the Rangers do not convert on. Mike Messier moving, penalty coming. It's going to be on Philadelphia. The first power play is going to go to the New York Rangers. Gary Fraser with a call.
Hope you saw it, Gary, because there was so much going on out there. Oh, man, the Rangers really started to step it up physically, including Russ Courtnall with his big collision right there. It's a big hit on Chris Therrien. Therrien looked like he didn't see him coming. And at 2:35, Therrien went down. Russ Courtnall way smaller, way faster, away he came. This looked like a perfect pass from Courtnall to Messier, except it took one bounce too many. It looked like, you know what, Eric Desjardins might have gotten a piece of that. Maybe that's why it started to bounce. But Messier had Ron Hextall to the other side of the net and never made contact with the puck.
2-on-1 break. Messier unable to convert on the bouncing puck. Adam Graves. Graves gets the roughing call. Boy, that's... Mike Richter was heading to the bench before that whistle was blown. That's why I thought it was a penalty on Philadelphia. That net was wide open because Richter headed off, but it's not. Graves gets the roughing call at 5-10. Power play numbers through the first 3 games. Philadelphia overall in the playoffs, 7th among the playoff teams, 10 for 63. Ranger penalty killers have given up 10 in the playoffs, 10 of 56. Richter had problems with it, but Luukkonen couldn't clear. Held in by Lindros. Power play for Philadelphia. Cleared up. Lindros held it in again. And it'll roll to center. Niemann, Zubas, the 2 rookies, 1 and 2 in scoring among rookies in the playoffs this season, have been outstanding. Coffey's speed pass. Gretzky was there. Messier was there, rather, had to come back to get it. They'll change it up. Lindros intercepted, dangerously so. He got dumped as Alf Samuelsson got a piece as Lindros went by. Third back in along the blue line. Leclaire, they get back on side. Coffey dropped it near side Lindros. Lindros in the middle, shot. What a save by Richter. He got that with his stick. That had goal labeled all over it, and Richter came up with a stick save, just flashing it to the right. Courtnall looking to clear and dives.
Gary out in front of the net. Paul Coffey just got leveled and got up real slowly. Remember, he's got the bad back.
Randberg shot, save made again by Richter. He denies them on the power play chance. 48 left on the penalty.
Mike Richter knows he's going to have to be huge. Mike Richter has said in the last couple of days he can play better than he's played. But most of the time the Flyers have taken his sight lines away. He can't see. Oh,
Post to post.
God. Post to post. Can you believe that? Then Michael Renberg tried a shot with Richter way out, cutting down the angle that he was able to eat up pretty easily. But if Mike Richter's looking for good omens early in a hockey game, when you can go post to post and get some help, that may turn out to be something good for you as the game progresses.
Right across the line. You can bet they took a look at that one upstairs.
Would have had to have a lot of juice on it to go across the line and hit both posts.
Man, oh man. Power play still underway. Redberg the chance deflected before it got in on net. 40 seconds remaining on the advantage. Intercepted shorthanded. Esa Tikkanen. It'll be taken to the corner by Desjardins. Rangers coming out physically much stronger than they were in the last game. Bruce Driver back in his own end. 25 remaining in the Philadelphia power play. Lidster cleared it in off Hextall. All Coffey back out on the power play unit. Sent in. Rolls. Samuelson around for Messier on the penalty killing unit. Messier could not handle. Comes back up to Desjardins. His blast deflected in front. Kicked into Leclerc. Deflected it wide. Rebound. Howard Chuck got it in front to Renberg. Trying to jam it home. He scored! It went in! No signal yet from Kerry Fraser, but the red light came on. The red light came on, but Kerry Fraser never pointed at the net.
No, now Kerry Fraser was over on the sideboard, so he might not have seen it, but there was such a massive humanity in front of the net. I don't know how he could have seen it. I certainly didn't see it. They came around on the angle that we're watching the game from, but I think, was it Michael Renberg or Dale Hawerchuk that stepped out front? It looked like Hawerchuk that stepped out front and took a couple of big pokes at it. So here's the Flyers doing what they do best. John Leclerc banged people in front, kind of held everybody there. Here's Hawerchuk in behind. Knows Renberg. Michael Renberg stepped out front, took one shot. Oh, yeah. Guess what?
No question it went in. When was there a whistle before that?
That's the question. That is the question, because that obviously entered the net on the second chance, and even if his skates were in the crease, it was him that got the puck into the crease, so he's allowed to follow his own play into the crease.
The first goal of the last game from Lindros came after they went upstairs. Nobody knew it had gone in. It's a goal. It is a goal, and Michael Renberg has given Philadelphia a 1-0 lead, a power play goal with 2 seconds left on the Ranger penalty to Adam Graves. And I think Kerry Fraser just did not see it go in, and that's what he had to check on.
It's tough to see. Let's listen for the whistle.
No whistle.
Now, the whistle was 3 seconds after it went in, and after the play, Jeff Beukeboom made Michael Renberg pay for it, and that's why John Leclerc toasted Jeff Beukeboom and threw him to the side. If anything, the Rangers may be fortunate that they dodged a bullet there. Did they dodge a bullet? Did they come up with a penalty on that play, Gary?
There's 2 more up on the board for the Rangers, and it's matching minors.
Oh, there you go.
There will be matching minors here, but Michael Renberg has given them the 1-0 lead, his first goal of this series. For Renberg, who was taken off the Legion of Doom line because of that bad ankle, but he came around and jammed it in front and got it done, and that's what Philadelphia wanted. They've jumped on top again and have the 1-0 lead. Now we're in a 4-on-4 situation with a matching minor call. Enema sent it out into the middle. Zuber trying to take it in, couldn't. Leach looking up ice. Rangers have had one break on that post-to-post shot that didn't go in. They've had a 2-on-1 opportunity that they could not convert on. And Philadelphia's up. Zubers with Gretzky on him. Uber still has it. Picked up by Lidster on the far side. Dumped it back for Lindros. He and Leach do battle. No match there. Lindros in the middle. He intercepted, and Gretzky unable to clear. Leach will go back into the corner. It's a 4-on-4 here. A 1-0 lead. Flyers on top with 12:09 left to go in the first period. And that quiets Madison Square Garden. They have scored the first goal in all 4 games. And that's a big plus because, as we said, when the Rangers have scored first, they haven't lost here in the playoffs. Driver, saved by Hextall. Deflected to the near side. Samuelson holds it in behind the net. Dumped back out for Driver, but deflects back to center.
That was a good play by Ron Hextall. He was ready for the pass through his crease, had his stick backwards, and I think it went off his stick out of the blue line.
It's Leclerc and Beukeboom who got the 2 for roughing. So they are both out of there. The goal was given to Leclerc from Renberg and Hawerchuk. I think that may be changed. Deflected off the near side. Samuelson got it out of there. Sent back into the zone right along the line. Driver lost it on the far side, trying to control on the take-in with Eastwood. In behind the net, loose. Tikkanen moves up. Tikkanen trying to run it through. Never got it in on net. Puck checked away to center. Played back by Leach as the Rangers get back on side and want to change it up. And it'll be dumped in. Knocked away. Looking up ice. Flyers trying to catch the Rangers at a change. Couldn't. 7 remaining on the matching minors. Otto drops it back. Bodine shot. Deflected into the corner. Joel Otto over to get it. Sent it back in on Richter. The backing. The matching minors over. Back to 5-on-5 now. All right, Messier's lying out there. Messier still in the zone. Turning back is Lidster, waiting for him to get on side. He sends it in on Hextall. Hextall knocked it away. The Rangers in the first 2 rounds held the opponents to a goal and a half a game. Being the Devils in Florida. In this series, Philadelphia is averaging 4.3 goals a game. That is what the Rangers have not been able to contend with. Brought back in by Lindros. Dropped it back to the point. Didn't have anybody there. Picked up by Graves. Graves looking. Another one of those wide passes. Messier trying to feed it back. Graves cutting. Tipped away. Not quite. Was in on the skates on Adam Graves, and he couldn't get a shot on. Brought back out Zubers. Zubers with Philadelphia changing behind the play. Will dump it in. Shots are even at 4 halfway through the first. Flyers have the 1-0 lead. The victory here for Philadelphia would send them home for the Sunday game up 3-1 in this series if they can get the W here in New York. Sent back in. What a pass. Robitaille shot. Hextall the save. Set up by Gretzky.
Boy, the New York Rangers have brought their skating legs for this hockey game. They've also brought their physical play. I mean, the Rangers aren't going to go down or lose a hockey game without fighting for it. This was some of the frustration after Michael Renberg scored. That didn't hurt for Renberg once he saw the goal up there. But Mark Messier continued it. This is what the Rangers have to do.
Welcome back to New York. Our exclusive coverage of the Eastern Conference Finals. Flyers leading at 1-0. Power play for the Rangers. Peter Swoboda picked up the cross-checking call at 10:14. So the Rangers get a power play opportunity. Gretzky on the face-off win. Robitaille, though, couldn't kick it in on net. Played around by Desjardins and by Tikkanen and out of the zone. So the Rangers get the power play opportunity. It has been a struggle for them on the power play in the playoffs. 3 for 12 in this round. And the Rangers, Leach, Robitaille. Robitaille waiting for Gretzky there. Gretzky taking it up the half boards. Flyers, for the most part, have challenged the puck as they're doing right here and have made it work. Driver able to hold it in. The Flyers come out of that box and go after it here in the penalty killing unit. Robitaille tipped wide. Robitaille was open. Gretzky got it on the tape, but it was tipped wide in the net. And it's cleared out by Philadelphia as Arnold got it out of the zone.
Boy, Wayne Gretzky made a perfect pass for one of Russ Courtnall's goal in Game 3, right from that same spot. He is so dangerous down behind the goal line.
Robitaille to take it and tried to jam it on the boards. Never got it there. Terrien clears it out. Richter at the other end. 57 seconds on the power play. Messier comes out with his power play unit. Messier crisscrossing in the middle. Courtnall in. Courtnall to Messier. Driver got it. Played it back far side. Gretzky was open. Near side to Driver. Driver shot. Save. Hextall. Rebound. Messier swung at it, but Hextall covered it up.
Well, a couple of big chances for the Rangers. First by Robitaille and then a close one. Mark Messier tried to get to the rebound. Colin Campbell wasn't afraid to start planting doubts in Ron Hextall's mind. He said, listen, we can get to Ron Hextall. He could blow up. If he was that solid and the Flyers were that confident in him, they would have started him Game 1 in the playoffs. So Colin Campbell's doing whatever he can do. It looked like Luc Robitaille just pushed that one wide before getting taken out in front. He just wanted to redirect it. You can tell when Ron Hextall's on his game. He will stand up, he will be square to the shooter, and he will not commit first. If those things aren't happening, he may not be on his game.
Right back up for Messier. Rangers still in a power play. Terrien, Courtnall. Terrien had tipped it away. Courtnall got it back. Comes back to the point. Lidster sends it around to the near side. Power play Rangers down to 20 seconds. Graves behind the net. Just dumped it off. Leach moved in up in front. Graves had to come back and get the puck. Go to Courtnall. Courtnall looking for Leach up top. Can Leach get a shot on? Does there. Trying to hit Messier on the far side. With a bad wrist that Leach has. In warm-ups, he was having a very difficult time shooting.
Gary, it looks tonight like it looked the other night that slapping the puck isn't as bad for Brian Leach. You don't have to twist the top end of your stick as much when you're slapping it as you do when you're wristing it if you want to raise it. And it may be easier for Brian to slap it than to wrist it.
Well, Philadelphia's killed off the Ranger power play opportunity with 7:35 to go in the first period. Philadelphia on top 1-0. And if there is a Game 6, ESPN will bring you exclusive coverage of the Flyers back here in New York, if necessary, Tuesday at 7:30. 1-0 lead. Philadelphia on top. Goal for the moment credited to John LeClair from Renberg and Hawerchuk. Looked like Renberg may have gotten it. They may change that between periods. We'll let you know if they do. Eric Lindros out to take the face-off. Batted away near side. trying to dump it in, could not, came right back to him, gloved the back in, and it'll be Buchable who will chase down. 6-5 the shots in favor of the Rangers. They again are struggling with that Philadelphia size and strength and great legs. Off the near side boards. Wood got it in and got jammed up. Trying to get it out in front. They want to get shots on Hextall, obviously, and take them from wherever they can and look for the rebounds. But Philadelphia's defense has denied them that in the last game in here. Roberto on the far side cleared it up. He got leveled after he got rid of that pass, but he got it up the boards and out. This will be an icing call, and there may be a penalty coming as well. Barry Fraser's got his arm up here. He's got a penalty coming, and it's going to be on the Rangers.
And it looks like Mike Eastwood, who is out there centering his checking line with Churla and Dallas Aikens instead of Adam Graves against the Lindros line.
And Colin Campbell not happy at all on this interference call.
Now, here's the play along the board. Shane Churla was in there, and so was Mike Eastwood. He had his stick pulled out of his hands. It looked like it got caught in Nienema's gear. Maybe Nienema grabbed it and held it back, but when Mike Eastwood came back and hit Jani Nienema, that's when he got called for, well, interference. Looked like it could have been boarding, hitting from behind, but he was a frustrated guy because he lost his stick.
Ron Hextall playing in his 4th game, 3rd start, 2-0 in the playoffs, .906 save percentage for him, and it's his job now.
Yep, sure is. So interesting to see the Flyers with a goalie, one goalie that's 7-2, one that's 2-0. And here is Mike Richter, whose numbers were fantastic until this round. Now they're getting beat up quite a bit by the Flyers because of the numbers the Flyers are putting up.
Even though his overall is a 1.90 goals against the Flyers, it's 4.02. And the Flyers back on the power play, having converted on their first opportunity. The penalty to Eastwood, the interference at 13:09. Face-off, though, is going to come back in the Flyers' end with 6:36 left to go here in this period. Eric Desjardins, who made a pointed comment, I thought appropriately, when he was talking about how they're playing so well against the Rangers. He said, well, you know, you can't compare the offense of the Devils and Florida to ours. He said, I don't mean that to diminish the other team's efforts, but we're just a better offensive team. And he's right.
He is absolutely right. Absolutely. When you look at the Flyers coming into this game, the Lindros line, 20 goals, 24 assists. The Brind'Amour line, 12 goals, 15 assists in the playoffs. The Otto line, 9 goals, 11 assists. From the defense, 6 goals, 28 assists. I mean, it's coming at you any way you look at it, any shift you're out there.
Yep, they're outscoring the opposition overall, 54-35. Philadelphia is overall in this playoff season. So the power play, Philadelphia will start from their own end. Paul Coffey on the right. Sent in by Howardchuk. Slows down, going on the far side behind the net. Lidster had the hit over there. Driver another shot, but the puck will be held in on the near side by Coffey. He tried to wrist it in front for Zubers, who was cutting. Howardchuk back to him. Zubers along the boards. Rangers coming out. They're challenging the puck here with a shorthanded unit. Trying to prevent the setup. Driver in the corner does battle. Desjardins will chase with Courtnall. Good play by Desjardins, but Lidster follows up and gets it out.
Yeah, that is a key, boy. When you're cutting a penalty, if you can't support, and that's what Doug Lidster did there to get over there and help Russ Courtnall. Great chance. That's why power plays have to work as hard as penalty killers to be able to succeed, because you know penalty killers are going to be working to support and stuff like that.
Samuelson on the dump in, played it around. That's a Tikkanen on the boards, never got to it, cut off and held in. Philadelphia still on a power play, 43 seconds left to go. A clear that could have happened but didn't because John LeClair got there first. That's a Tikkanen, tries it again to Messier. He doesn't get it out. Puck loose in the slot area to Lindros, deflected to the near side. Nienema stepped up to hold that in initially as he came down low. Coffey covers back up for him. Nienema gets back, shot, save, rebound, Lindros. Off the foot, the rebound, Lindros, covered up by Mike Richter. 2 chances on the power play for Lindros.
Gary, we've talked a lot about how the Flyers have screened Mike Richter well. I think they screened him too well on this play. If I'm not mistaken, Eric Lindros just shot a pretty wide open net. Hit Rod Brind'Amour in the leg. There's John LeClair in front as the Flyers cycle the puck around and move it around the top of the box. There's Rod Brind'Amour in front, hit him right in the knee. Hit him right in the knee. Was going for the short side. It looked like it was wide open because Mike Richter was down. Watch Richter go down here. When the play came over, he is down. Hit Rod Brind'Amour. From that angle, it looks like the shot might not have been on net anyway.
Brind'Amour looked a little wide of the net there that time, but it was going to be close.
Yep.
7-4 the scoring chances in favor of the Flyers. 1-0 lead. Philadelphia's got that, and they've still got a power play for another 13 seconds. Leclerc, big hit on Driver. Niederma again over there, pinched down to hold it in. Coffey near side. Coffey, the wrist pass. Deflected, tried to hit Leclerc in front. Niederma yet one more time over there to hold it in. Dump back out in front. Leclerc dropped it in the middle. Lindros couldn't get it. Here's the break. Lindros up ice, back to cover. Eric Lindros fell back on Courtnall. Niederma on the near side will dump it in. They'll change. Power play is over. Philadelphia 1 for 2. On the power play, they're 1-0 lead with 4:30 left to go here in the first period. And the Rangers will complete a line change. Robitaille waiting over for Gretzky. Intercepted by Klatt, cleared out over the glass, though, in the face-off in the Philadelphia zone. Shots are 7-6, favor the Flyers, and they've got the 1-0 lead. It literally is the new 42nd Street in New York, the new Amsterdam Theater. Disney rebuilding. They've got their first show there going on, and it doesn't look like the Times Square of a couple of years ago. Little holiday crowd on hand here on this Friday night. Great to have you with us for our exclusive coverage on ESPN. The goal has now been changed. 7:08. Renberg is given credit for it. His first of this series, 5th of the playoff year. Hawerchuk and Coffey got the assist. It's a power play goal, giving the Flyers their 1-0 lead. Desjardins from behind the net. We're 5-on-5 right now. They're back out through center. Otto will dump it in wide. Richter thinks about coming up. Does. Got run into. Got knocked down. Richter scoring to get back into the net. His shot. Bodine was over there. But Bodine had been driven into Richter. And it was not, obviously, in a hurry to back off. Gretzky bringing it in. Beautiful poke check to knock it away. Therrien, who's having an outstanding playoff year, reached in and got that away from Gretzky.
He is a big man that has learned this year in the playoffs to play big. And, man, is he a force.
Just outstanding. He's just not making mistakes out there on defense and helping to work the puck up ice offensively. Rangers dumping in, but that's a tough game against the Flyers, who generally will beat you to the puck, and they do here. They're back out through center for Brind'Amour. Nope, he's on the wide side. Hawerchuk the shot. That went wide. Richter again. Long way out. Plays it around the near side boards. Flyers lost control. Rangers get it out. Not much room, though. Messier. All right, Messier with Graves cutting. Leads it. Terrence working down low. Backhand centering pass block. Terrence still has it. Tried to center. Hit Messier and came right back to him in behind the net. So a couple of chances. John Druce came back to cover. Couldn't get it out in front that time. Cleared around by Druce and up by Swoboda and out. Rangers want to change it up behind the play. Philadelphia will do the same. John Druce stays out. Moves it in. Can't get by the check put on, and the Rangers are sending a man up ice as quickly as they can. The transition game. Philadelphia's been back there. Not been able. The Rangers haven't been able to get behind the D. What they would like to do in this game. Poke checked away into the corner. Tikkanen came over, couldn't get it away. Philadelphia throwing the speed on. Lacroix sent back to the near side. Philadelphia will back up, and the Rangers will dump it out. Desjardins has gone back there to play it. Sent in onside by Tikkanen, who got leveled along the blue line, and still does battle back there. Tikkanen able to get himself separated from Swoboda. Dump back far side. Rangers back there. Poke checked it away. Tikkanen can't handle near side. Philadelphia getting it out in a hurry and moving it up ice. Otto tied up, spun around and knocked down, and a penalty coming on Philadelphia again. Hextall heading out. Otto tipped it. This will be touched up by Leach, and Philadelphia is going back on the power play again.
Kind of a delayed call, and I think that's what's frustrating the Rangers. Carey Fraser saw it, examined it for a second, and then called it. Joel Otto was trying to make a play at the blue line and hold up, and he got hog-tied by Luc Robitaille. If Luc hadn't pulled his arm all the way around and torqued him like that, I don't think Joel Otto goes down. There's a crucial point where you got to release on a play like that and not get called.
Robitaille out of there on the hold. Brian Engblom.
Well, guys, this time in the spotlight, we're looking at number 99, Wayne Gretzky. What a unique athlete. And I think one of the most unique things is the way he handles his stick. Look at his hand there, the bottom hand in particular, how he cups or cradles the shaft of the stick. The reason he played a lot of lacrosse, 7 or 8 years, this is not Wayne here, but notice the hands, how he cups and cradles that the hand's facing up in the 6 o'clock position. Most guys are kind of in the 9 o'clock position. I've tried this. It's a very unique, very different feel. Of course, for me, it's really different. I probably had too much cement, not enough water.
Power play underway here. This is going to be the third of the game. Robitaille the holding at 18-13. Philadelphia with a chance for one of those back-breaking late in the period goals right here on a power play. Coffey tipped it back. Shot. Richter save. Rebound. Hawerchuk once, twice. Richter knocked it away with a stick. And the Rangers clear. Boy, Philadelphia could have a 3-0 lead in this game easily.
Yes, sir. Remember those saves by Mike Richter.
They have got one power play goal whistled here, and the faceoff will come back into the Ranger end.
The Flyers really respect Mike Richter's ability to stop the first shot. And they say he's a great first shot stopper. They think there are rebounds there. And guess what? When it deflects on the way to the net, that deflected way out off of Jeff Bukaboom and then came in on Mike Richter. No wonder he couldn't control it. See how he flinched as it was coming to him? It was deflected out high. Dale Howard, oh man, what a save. He had to stay completely focused on this. And Mike Richter, when he's in his cage and has a chance to focus on it, is as good as there is. He's so agile, so quick with both gloves, with both pads. And he had to use his quickness on that one. The puck was bouncing and flipping on Dale Hawerchuk, so he wasn't able to zap it up to the top the way he wanted to, but still, Mike Richter made a good save.
Argument here about where this face-off is going to take place.
Gary, I think the puck, when it was being shot down the ice, I think what happened was it nicked one of the Rangers on the bench, possibly, but I don't know where, and I don't know what end of the bench it nicked.
They're going to move it in that Ranger zone here in any event. Well, was it going to happen? A new Stanley Cup champion? Maybe, because Detroit about ready to knock off Colorado unless a valiant effort can pull the Avalanche back. Tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern and 4:30 Pacific, Detroit's got a chance to wrap up that series. Tomorrow night on ESPN. 6-0 Detroit win over the Avs in a game people are still shaking their heads about that occurred last night. Vernon getting the shutout. They just dominated a frustrated Avs team at the end of that game.
What's scary for Colorado is they could be out already because Detroit could have won game 1 as well.
Pretty incredible. A team that was so powerful in the playoffs last year and looks so strong this season and finished #1 overall. There are the 4 teams left. Philadelphia leading this series 2-1. They will play on Sunday in Philadelphia the next game, and then Detroit with their 3-1 edge playing tomorrow night right here on ESPN at 7:30.
I like it when the brackets get that small. Real easy to follow.
Very easy. We don't have to go through permutations and combinations on that one. Into the near side corner. Philadelphia's still got a minute 15 left on the power play. Cardinal will send it in. A minute left to go in the period. Longer than that remaining on the power play. All Coffey turning it on. Flyers were changing it up. Lindros on the near side. Dumped it into the middle for Brendamore. Lidster stepped up. Lindros over. Trying to block that and did. Minima held it in. Gets it back at the point. Takes the chance. Deflected off Lidster's skate. Lidster will chase down and took a hop right back to Lindros in the middle for Brendamore, and that was blocked by Driver. Philadelphia still holding it in. Brendamore drops it back for Paul Coffey. Sent out in front. Lindros got knocked down by Lidster, and Lidster will clear.
Oh, Eric Lindros is yelling at Kerry Fraser. He wanted a penalty. I think it might have been even on Bruce Driver who let him have it.
Oh, bad penalty right there by Mike Eastwood. Delay call. Redburn shot it wide. Rebound centered for Dykhouse. Comes back to the point. Extra skater up. A Flyer down on the ice on the far side. Centering pass hits him, of course. 0.9 seconds left. Klatt was down on the ice. The pass came right over and hit him, but he was already down while play was going on. Eastwood has already picked up a penalty at center ice.
Yeah, he sure did. And I don't know what happened to Trent Klatt. He got dinged, but this may be the evidence. That is generally the sign of a cross-check. When you end up with a stick like that, busted up that high, you don't break a stick like that on a shot. But I don't think Kerry Fraser saw it. He's got Mike Eastwood on a penalty, but I don't think whatever happened to Trent Klatt was picked up. It was away from the play.
This is a bad penalty.
Yeah, this stage of a hockey game, there's Mike Eastwood taking Rod Brind'Amour down and pulling him back. It's similar to the Robitaille penalty. You've got to know when to release. You've got to know when you've got the guy off balance, and you have to know when to release so it doesn't look as bad as it's going to end up looking.
Right, and literally not in front of him, right on Kerry Fraser's foot.
Banged into him.
Well, with 0.9 seconds left in the period, Eastwood gets the holding call. That will leave 13 seconds on a two-man advantage, and there's the end of the period. There'll be 12 seconds on a two-man advantage for the Flyers to start the second period. They have gotten on the board first on a power play goal by Renberg at 7:08 from Hawerchuk and Coffey, and they'll start the second period with a two-man advantage. After one, Flyers up 1-0. John and Barry.
All right, guys, thanks a lot. The Flyers are up 1-0. The Rangers are shorthanded. They were shorthanded throughout much of the period, but still not a bad period for them.
If I'm a Ranger fan and I'm watching this game at home, a lot of things were good. We were physical. We stood up to them physically. We controlled Lindros pretty well. He didn't have any chances. We killed penalties. Our power play had a couple chances, and Richter was very good. So all in all, they're down 1-0, but they played a good period. Something positive to build on in period two.
Bad penalty by Eastwood. Western Michigan
and he
guy,
thought it wasn't a penalty.
Just killing me. We'll get back in a moment. When we return, we'll take a look at the youngest player in the NHL, Danis Zubras.
ESPN's coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs is brought to you by Bud Ice and Bud Ice Light, the official beer sponsors of the NHL. By the owners, managers, and crew who proudly call the McDonald's in your neighborhood My McDonald's. And by the new Dodge. It's about change.
Back at Madison Square Garden, the team's on the ice. Philadelphia with a 1-0 lead. Renberg's fifth of the playoffs at 7:08. The only one up there on the board.
And we knew the New York Rangers would like to come out and establish a physical game. Jeff Beukeboom has done that. But the New York Rangers are really living on the edge. They're really pushing the envelope. They took the majority of the penalties, and you know what? It could have been worse. Some of the hits were okay. I mean, Alt Samuelsson trying to rough up Eric Lindros. You can get away with stuff like that. Well, Michael Renberg was just drilled in the head, and there was no call on that. Mark Messier took his men clean for the most part in that first period. But look, remember that stick we showed you broken at the end? Trent Klatt had Jeff Beukeboom cross-check him in the side of the head or the neck. We were too far away to tell. Klatt was down and Beukeboom's stick was on the ice. Kerry Fraser had his arm up calling the penalty on Mike Eastwood when Beukeboom did that. Rangers want to win this hockey game. They're going to have to start being way more careful because they are going to end up in a steady parade to the penalty box.
They do not want that to happen, and Klatt continues to be an enormous force here for Philadelphia. 24 goals during the regular season. He is scoring, and he is playing tough.
We have to add something to his resume. We said he hits, he can score. Now he's able to take a cross-check to the side of the head and still play.
Philadelphia will start with a two-man advantage for 12 seconds. See Robitaille on the right and Eastwood on the left. Paul Coffey and Hawerchuk, the assists on Renberg's goal. For Coffey, it is 186th. Career playoff game is 194th point.
The Rangers really wanted to target Paul Coffey and Yanni Niinimaa, and they said so in the papers. Colin Campbell said, these guys, we're going to take runs at them just to plant a seed. I mean, Colin Campbell pulled out all of the stops. He wanted to play mind games. He wants his guys to play a strong physical game. They got to do that to stay alive.
Driver will send that one out. A two-man advantage for another 5 seconds for Philadelphia. Brought back in by Lindros. They look to get the quick shot off. Couldn't on the far side. Hawerchuk now 5-on-4. Driver moved in. Hawerchuk took it away. Dale Hawerchuk, 34-year-old veteran out there on the power play unit, where he has made a very good living and provided some great numbers for teams. Near side for Coffey. Minute 30 on the advantage for Philadelphia. Paul Coffey. The goal they have on a power play. Lindros shot was blocked by Beukeboom. Sent it right over to a Flyer, and a penalty coming up on Philadelphia. Down on the ice. The Rangers, Robitaille, and Lindros will pick up the call, as Kerry Fraser will show you. Cross-checking.
Yeah. Eric Eric Lindros took his shot. It was really blocked nicely by Jeff Beukeboom, and then watch Lindros try to get to the puck, and really Luc Robitaille get in his way. So he gave a shot up high in the head. I mean, Luc will be all right. He's dabbing at the front of his face. It looked like it hit him in the back of the head, and that's got to be called because it's high.
Just the 6th penalty minute to be picked up in this series by Eric Lindros.
He is has been a picture of discipline since the opening round of the playoffs. Steady as she goes for the Flyers. Terry Murray didn't care about matchups in this hockey game. He didn't care if Eric Lindros had to play against Adam Graves or Mike Eastwood or Mark Messier all night long. He said, we'll just play whatever the Rangers put out there.
It is a 4-on-4 situation. Second time we've had that in this game. Rangers benefit right there on that penalty as it costs Philadelphia a lot of power play time. Straight down the middle, take it and rolled it in. Hextall makes a save on the one-handed chance by Esa Tikkanen. Gretzky near side taken away by Therrien. Therrien around, Leach stepping up, trying to hold it in. That helped. Near side, Gretzky batted it away. Leach trying to get a forehand off in front, couldn't do it. And he'll chase it out to center.
That shot by Tikkanen was a one-hand shot, but it registers as a shot. That is only the 3rd shot so far in this game by a Rangers forward.
Amazing. They've got 7 in the game. Flyers out shooting them 10-7. This is not a power play. Esa Tikkanen the shot. Save made by Hextall. Deflected that to the near side. 4-on-4. Therrien moves it out. Gretzky got up behind the play. Philadelphia's got a 4-on-3 for the moment. Therrien. Save made by Richter. Therrien took it around the net. Got hit back there by Doug Lidster, who gets up and comes away with the puck. As the Flyers want to change it up. Just underway here in the second period. Gary Thorne, Bill Clement, and Brian England, thanks for being with us in our exclusive coverage here of the Eastern Conference Finals. With a Flyer 2-1 lead in the series, looking to make it 3-1 if they can get the victory here. Gretzky shut it down once. Niederman cleared it up off the glass and out through center, but it ends up going onto the Ranger bench. Take a look at our Bud Ice Stanley Cup summary as we're down to 4 teams remaining. Vernon, his 5th career playoff shutout in that victory, 6-0 for Detroit. Avalanche have not lost 4 straight since 1994 when they were the Nordiques, and the Rangers trying to become the 2nd team since '67 to win a cup without home ice in any round.
95 Devils were the last team to do that. Bruce Driver was a member of that Devils team. Now working across the river here for the Rangers. What would you want to do on game day? There is Doug Lidster. Where do you think having a root canal would rank on your list of things to do and priorities on game days? 58th?
Right after going down with Art Carney into the sewer system or something.
That's what happened to Doug Lidster. They thought he has headaches. He's had headaches. They thought it was because of a puck in the face mid-season. He had a cyst, and he had it removed with a root canal operation today.
Leach the shot. Save made again by Hextall. Rebounded back to center. Rangers avoided a couple of dangerous bullets in that period. Here's the break up the middle for Graves. A diving poke check. Niederman. Great play by Yanni Niederman. As he came diving in, Graves had a good step and a half on him, but he got the poke check and did not trip him.
No, did not trip him, and even if he had, he got the puck first. So that's usually the criterion they use. He would have been legal anyway.
Niederman has been outstanding. Young rookie has had a great year and has continued it here in the playoffs. Near side boards can't be held in. Niederman again to knock it away. Courtnall on a way to get onside. Brendamore intercepts. Brendamore for Lindros in the middle. Puck checked away. Here's a one-on-one. Leach moves it up. Leach with Swoboda. Hit the crossbar. They're even. Philadelphia in the first period had one that went post to post. Leach off the crossbar. Would have tied it. Cairns back together. Near side for Beukeboom. Beukeboom clears, or at least tried to clear it out. Got it out of there. Churlis centered. Ouch.
Gary, that's a cheap lesson learned for the Flyers. Now the Flyers are going to end up with a penalty. But Eric Lindros turned the puck over at the Rangers blue line, and Brian Leach just about made him pay for it.
And immediately the call made on that check. Daniel Lacroix will go, and the Rangers will get a power play. Penalty at 3:14. The interference coming at center ice.
Watching the top right, Danny Lacroix came in and took Dallas Eakins. The puck looked pretty close to him, but Kerry Fraser said no far enough away to be interference. And here go the Rangers on a power play.
The New York Rangers have converted just twice in 11 chances against Philadelphia in this series. Gretzky out there on the power play. Bad pass right into Brendamore's skates. to hang on and commit a penalty himself on the far side that time. And Joel Otto moved it into the zone. Gretzky sets it up. Leach. Power play Rangers. Leach moved it in, tried to drop it back, had it intercepted and cleared out by Therrien again. Good play, Therrien, yet one more time. Philadelphia changes up on their power play unit. Rangers with their third power play opportunity of the game. Again, onside. Again, they can't get in as Dykhouse stepped up. Great play by Dykhouse to get in front of Robitaille.
Right, one thing that Dykhouse can do is skate, and he uses skating ability there. Another guy that can skate, Brian Leetch of the New York Rangers. Even with the bad wrist, you got to know he's gritting his teeth and saying, I know this is going to hurt, but I'm going to let it rip anyway. Here's his hip post. He came down one-on-one on Swoboda. Oh, he had Ron Hextall. That looked like it changed directions when it was coming to him. Ron Hextall kind of went down on one knee. Swoboda got his stick over. Now, if it changed directions, it was because Brian Leetch put a curve on it, because it didn't deflect off anything. In Game 3, Brian Leetch did not play much at all by his standards. He played under 20 minutes. This time of the season, Brian is usually around 33 to 34 minutes. He is playing more here, so he is healthier than he was in Game 3.
Scoring chances favor the Flyers. They converted on a power play goal in the first period, the only one up there. Otto won the faceoff against Messier and cleared it out of there. Flyers with the advantage of the faceoffs in the last game, 41 to 25 against the Rangers. Eric Lindros won 15 of 20 in that game. And they won some big faceoffs here. Another great poke check, cleared out the other way.
There's no weak link. When you go out there to take a faceoff against the Flyers, you say, all right, it's Brind'Amour. Well, that's no good. Well, maybe I'll get Otto. Well, he's maybe better than Rod Brind'Amour. And Eric Lindros has really improved on the draws and is so strong. And there's no weak link.
Platt and Bodine teaming to hold that puck in for a while. Taking in shot, save. Hextall rebounded back up to the blue and out of the zone. Here's a chase. Gretzky trying to come from behind on her. Otto dropped it off. Great block made by Courtnall. Centered right through the crease. Shot on. Deflected away from Richter as Esa Tikkanen was in to help. Courtnall leaves it near side. Power play, 20 seconds on it. Messier dropped it back into the middle. Esa Tikkanen fake. Tikkanen takes it. Didn't get much on it. Looked like he was trying to pass. As he passed up the shot, Bodine cleared.
You know what, Gary? He had two Flyers lying in front of him. Even if the shot never comes and you don't block the shot, if you can force the guy to delay and make the play, maybe you get lucky. That's what the Flyers did.
And the power play is over. Deflected wide. Hextall a save again. Driver cut in. Rebound off the side of the net. Gretzky goes on top, 5-on-5. Lidster shot. And he missed it wide. Got it by Hextall, but not on net. And Philadelphia, they're just moving out of the zone. Howard-Chuck. Flyers change. Howard-Chuck dropped it off in behind the net. The shot. Save made by Richter. What a huge save on Brind'Amour. He was set up from behind the net and redirected immediately on Richter.
The Rangers have to keep the score close. I mean, as long as they're close, they've got enough big game players maybe to make something happen in the third. But Danny Lacroix came out of the penalty box and made one heck of a play. Only equaled by Mike Richter's stop because Rod Brind'Amour was wide open. If anything, Brind'Amour might have been too close.
Richter is holding the fort right now for the Rangers. Our new Dodge intermission report upcoming. The Avs going back home. When update on the game. The Jazz on the Rockets, the NBA playoffs, and Barry's breakdown. All coming up in our new Dodge intermission.
Wayne Gretzky still has the magical ability to pass and find people open. That was Dallas Eakins that was moving in, and all he could do was redirect.
Gretzky with 6 goals, 5 assists over the last 7 games. A 7-game scoring streak. Tied for 5th in points, 2nd in goals in the playoffs. Point shot deflected to the near side. 14-18 left, second period. Power play goal in the first for Philadelphia's Michael Renberg is the only one up there on the board. Shots are 13-10 in favor of the Flyers. Not a lot of shots for either team. Dumped into the zone. Shirley giving chase. Hextall played it. Shirley got dumped, went sprawling. Fans again wanted a call here. Won't get it. Shirley's still in the zone, and that will be the offside. Shirley nowhere near getting out. Eric Lindros on the near side boards. Back up at the other blue line. Ukko-Bohm and Alt Samuelsson are the two who have been out there against him tonight defensively.
And they've really come out with a take no prisoners mentality. As long as they can get away with it, it's going to work. But watch what happens here. Jeff Bukabook from behind. Bukabook came up and cross-checked Eric Lindros. Kerry Fraser's going to have his head on a swizzle to catch a head on a swizzle.
Swizzle's good. After the game, a swizzle's fine. During the game, probably a swivel's better.
On a swivel, okay. We'll get the swizzle going at around 11 p.m. barring overtime.
That's why some people will say there ought to be a referee off the ice sitting in that high chair.
I think so. I mean, you can see, when you're on that horizontal plane on the ice, when bodies are in front of you that are as big as those guys are, I mean, have somebody like an umpire sitting in an elevated chair on near the scorer's table. You can see a lot from there, an awful lot.
Kerry Fraser's way up ice where he was supposed to be on that. Had no chance to see it. Sent in by the Flyers. No penalty here. Still 5-on-5. Gretzky on the far side. Went by. Couldn't get it. Harchuk does. Looking in front for Renberg. He moves it. Shot. Deflected wide. Harchuk had set up the screen for him in front of the net. Brendan Moore held it in momentarily. Rangers get it out of there. It'll be chased down. Hextall coming out to play it. And gets it out through center. Rangers will get back on side and complete a line change. That Lidstrom for Tikkanen. Tikkanen had gotten a step that time.
Yeah, because the Flyers were in a change. Peter Svoboda went to change, and Paul Coffey was caught a little by surprise. I think everybody on the bench was. It wasn't the best time to change.
Harchuk lays it for Paul Coffey. Coffey moving it in, waiting for help. Down the middle, straight in. Shot. Harchuk save made by Richter. Harchuk followed it up. Had the chance. Robitaille comes the other way. Robitaille leaves it. Great back checking by Harchuk. He was waiting for that pass. And the Rangers will have to get back on side again. Sent into the zone. Gretzky's line will head to the bench. Hextall held it up. Coffey starts it out. 1-0. Flyers on top. Flyer win. They go up 3-1. Sent into the zone. Messier there. Messier trying to put a hit on over there. Did. Freed it up for Graves. Graves drops it back. Driver looking for some help. Graves will take the chance. May have gone off the glove. Nope. Held on to. Hextall got it. Graves trying to pick up the offensive effort, working with Messier. And Eastwood had no chance for a shot. Lacroix and Eastwood do battle.
Boy, the Flyers got caught in a change again. 1D was up, assuming that the forward back was going to really hang back. That forward went for a change. Danny Lacroix came on one. I didn't even know who it was that went off, but that's why the change. The 2-on-1 happened again.
Ranger opportunity, but for not again. Eastwood comes. Shane Churla setting a pick for him in the middle. Eastwood instead sends it in. Hextall had to knock that one away. Dykhouse up the near side. Lindros back out on the ice. Lidstrom cleared it. Lindros got a piece of him. Back in Gretzky. Gretzky dropped it. Shot deflected wide. Good hard wrist shot that time. Wound up on, and the Flyers right back. Dubé is out there. The first shift he's had.
Yeah, he is. And Terry Murray had his fourth line guys out there. I think both Terry Murray and Colin Campbell are willing to get their fourth line guys into the game as long as they can play against one another. Terry Murray in this series, as he's done in all the series, has really used his bench, trying not to tire anybody out. Colin Campbell doesn't have a bench.
Lindros dropped that off, and there's a tie-up along the near side by Al Samuelson on Zubas. They're still going at it. Samuelson came in out of the old Wild West show right there. All he needed was a piece of rope, could have tied him up.
As long as they can get away with it, the Rangers are going to try to do that because they may be able to get the Flyers to retaliate, may try to get them off their game. The Rangers are fighting an uphill battle here with their guys all banged up. As far as I'm concerned, they don't have a choice but to try to play like this. It's going to be a challenge for the Flyers to remain disciplined and hope that Kerry Fraser sees most of the stuff.
We'll see what Kerry Fraser is going to call here, if anything. There's no original call. ABC Motorsports coverage tomorrow, 1 o'clock. It'll be the Motorola 300. It's the new event on the kart circuit. Featuring PPG points leader Paul Tracy. Be looking for it. ABC tomorrow at 1 Eastern at 12 Central. And then you'll see the Indianapolis 500. ABC covers it Sunday at 11 a.m.
Well, a guy who's hockey's version of an IndyCar, Paul Coffey, has really been playing well in this hockey series. I was talking about you too, Kerry. You're like an IndyCar. Paul Coffey back on D in this play, made 2 good plays. I mean, he was the only guy stranded back there after the bad change. Did a pretty good job defensively. Remember in game 2, he got hit. He got his ribs injected and frozen to come back and finish the game in Philadelphia. Was really on the limp, but getting better in game 3, and he's looking even stronger. Talked to him this morning. He said, no, I feel fine. He said, I'm ready to go. And Terry Murray is using the heck out of him. Also using the heck out of Ron Hextall, who came into this series after Garth Snow faltered in game 2. Good blocker save there with Mark Messier in front for a rebound. Hey, this has turned into a pretty good goaltenders duel here.
Richter and Hextall matching minors. Niinema and Samuelson both get roughing calls at 9:37. Third time in the game we've had this 4-on-4 situation. Eric Lindros will stay out there for Philadelphia. And he'll move in to take the faceoff against Eastwood. Bankhouse back along the line for the Flyers to try and hold it in if he can draw it back. One back, though, deep by Eastwood. Chased down by Leach. Lindros right there on him around the boards. Bankhouse held that in. Back to the corner. Bookable going back. Philadelphia keeps the heat on. Eastwood starts it up. Coffey back in the middle. Eastwood 2-on-2. Eastwood shot. Save Hextall. He thought it gone by him, but it hadn't. He looked back behind him, but he had it. Ron Hextall.
Now, Mike Eastwood made the right play, too. He had Brian Leach coming up on the play, but Eric Lindros is with Leach. If Mike Eastwood drops it and it doesn't work and Eric Lindros transitions the other way, he's got a big problem because he's caught Brian Leach up the ice. So when he crossed the blue line, he looked back to see what he had, tried to use Paul Coffey as a screen, and then launched a shot that Ron Hextall was kind of iffy about. Watch Ron Hextall's head. When he looked back, all's clear. Nice to see that blue paint with nothing black rolling towards the open cage in it.
Eastwood looking for his first goal of this series, but denied by Hextall. Hextall continues to do well against the Rangers in the playoffs. He's 5-2 now in his career postseason against New York. Regular season wise, his numbers are 16, 20, and 3. So he's done better in the playoffs than the regular season in that against New York in his career. Otto against Messier on the draw. Philadelphia wins it back. 4-on-4 continues. Swoboda. With Swoboda. Red blue and in to Brind'Amour. Brind'Amour dropped it off. Goes in behind the net. Leach is there. Blocked by Zuber. Messier starts it up ice. Portnoy with the Jets over there on the far side. The Rangers best is skated. A boom. Save. Rebound. Is covered up by Hextall.
Boy, Jeff Bookeboom has been a physical force in this game. How about almost being an offensive tire with the tying goal? Ron Hextall had trouble with that one, and it looked like at one point Eric Desjardins actually pushed it back to Hextall and made the situation a little scarier. But here's Bookeboom. Nice shot selection, just a little wrister. Here's Hextall bobbling. I want Desjardins to the right. See him push it back to Hextall. Here comes Desjardins. Watch him with the puck. Oh, man. He pushed it back to Hextall and created a bit of a problem because there was a Ranger there. But what about Desjardins actually having his hands closed on the puck in the crease there?
That's a no-no. That can be a penalty shot if you freeze it up and a whistle is blown and you got your hand over it in there and you're not the goaltender. Off this face-off, Bookeboom is looking for his first playoff goal this year on that last shot. Still 4-on-4. Down to 1:07 left on the matching minors. Lindros in the collision with Bookeboom. They stood each other up and a penalty coming, I think, on Lindros. Lindros looked like he went back after Bookeboom, and Kerry Fraser is going to put him in for the second Lindros penalty of this game. Slashing.
I got to see this one. And Eric Lindros might have come down on Bookeboom's feet with one hand on his stick. But now the tide has turned, and the Rangers are getting all the calls going their way. Now, Jeff Bookeboom has done a great job in the playoffs of standing up on people. There he is standing up on Lindros. Oh, you see, he came back with one hand on his stick and hit him right on the Achilles tendon on the back of his heel. Watch, he swings by, and then will come back there with a little tap. Bookeboom made it look pretty good, but that looked like a love tap. And this is a real challenge now for Eric Lindros because he's not getting the calls. I mean, that's borderline at best in any way you look at it. So Eric Lindros is saying to himself, what am I going to do about this? Do I fight back? And Jeff Bookeboom looks like he's hurt, but it couldn't have been from that, could it?
I would think not.
No.
I would think not. Lindros, first 6 games with a 6, last 8, 24. It gets tougher as it rolls along. Mentioned earlier, he's only had 8 penalty minutes here against the Rangers. He goes on the slashing call, and the Rangers will get their 4th power play opportunity of the game. Rangers are 3 for 15 now in this series. They got to get a chance to tie it up. Gretzky out. Gretzky shot. Deflected. Not sure if Hextall got that or not. Leach Esa Tikkanen on the right side. There he is. Tikkanen looking. Shot saved by Hextall that time. 4-on-3 power play. First one we've had in this series. Tikkanen, another penalty coming on the Flyers. Another penalty. Robitaille tipped. Rebound. Robitaille shot. Hextall a save. And there's the whistle. And the Rangers are going to have a huge advantage here with 2 up on the board and another one being called.
Wayne Gretzky's in a ton of pain. I don't know where he got hit, but I know it was Eric Desjardins that slashed him, and he had to get him someplace where he wasn't well padded. Right on the forearm, right above the glove on his right arm. Everything is numb at this point. Wayne Gretzky is in a whole bunch of pain. He went to get his stick, and then all of a sudden the pain hit.
You could see a concern, a fear in Wayne Gretzky's eyes on that hit.
Yeah. Part of that is just the sheer pain that he's going through, but another part of it is, oh, how bad am I hurt? Once the pain subsides a little bit and you got a chance as a player to assess what's going on in your body, and then the reality hits. Looks like Wayne may be all right. He's got his gloves and but he got hit, had to get hit where there was little, if any, padding right above his gloves. You can see when you actually bend your hand forward, the glove opens up on top and your wrist is exposed, and I think that's where Eric Desjardins got him. Looks like he's just wearing I don't know if those are the sweatbands that have little pads in them. Some of the sweatbands have pads there. I don't know if Wayne wears those or not. But he is a hurting guy right now.
There are 32 seconds remaining in the first penalty, so this penalty on Desjardins will not start until the penalty with 32 seconds on it expires. So the Rangers have an enormous opportunity, trying to take some of the pain out on Gretzky's hand. They'll spray it here.
That spray is ice cold. Look at that. Get it away. It's almost like instant ice.
That's enough.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's almost worse than the original hit. And it's so bony there on the wrist. It hurts if you put an ice pack on or that free-zone stuff. Anything you put on there is just really sore.
So the Rangers will have 32 seconds with a 2-man advantage here in a 4-on-3. Then after that, they'll have a 2-man advantage for another minute. So this is a huge moment in this game and this series. Flyers have the 1-0 lead. The Rangers on the power play. A 4-on-3 for the moment. And Messier won the draw back to Leach. Robitaille set up in front of the net. Messier. Philadelphia just 3 skaters. Leach shot save. Hextall rebound. Robitaille covered. Hextall big play. Messier reached in and Hextall immediately turned to Carey Fraser and said, I already had it.
Carey's going to say, I know, but it's May. And people are going to be jamming away at you, and there's no penalty for it unless they look like they're trying to hurt you. But Brian Leach did a good job of one-timing this with a bad wrist, and it came right through to Ron Hextall. He kicked the rebound right back out. Mark Messier took one poke at it. What do you think the chances are of Mark Messier laying off in a chance like this?
0.
Yeah, 0 to none. In that range.
20 seconds remaining on the penalty to expire in order to start up that third penalty. Still a 4-on-3. Messier again won the draw. Graves drops it back. Esa Tikkanen stays out. 4-on-3. Leach. Graves in front. That's Tikkanen. Messier on the other side. Tikkanen the shot. That deflected. Blocked by Podine. Messier over to Graves. Adam Graves battles to control it here. Back up for Esa Tikkanen. The first penalty is over. Samuelson's back out. 2-man advantage. Tikkanen shot. That one went wide. Rebound up to the near side. And cleared out of the zone. Big play by Therrien again. The Rangers with a 2-man advantage. 42 seconds. A 5-on-3. Messier. Gretzky has come out to play in the power play. Messier could not control. Held in by Tikkanen and lost, and Brenda Moore cleared it out. It deflects off a Ranger into the seat, so the faceoff will be at center.
Wayne Gretzky still shaking his hand. It'll be interesting to see how effective he is. He wears gloves that are pretty long, but if you look at the back of his gloves, there's no lacing. And because there's no lacing, when he bends his hand forward, and that's what he was doing when he was passing the puck when Desjardins hit it, when he bends his hand forward, that glove opens up. It's like opening up a clamshell, and you know your wrist is exposed. There it is.
He continues in a good deal of pain. 32 seconds on one penalty, a minute 32 on the other. Two-man advantage for the Rangers. Messier has been out there for all of this power play opportunity. Gretzky, Graves, Brind'Amour in the face-off. Messier won the third draw in a row here on this power play chance. Philadelphia, though, has done a great job of killing him off. They get it out of there again. Sloboda cleared on to Richter. The Rangers do not score here. It is a backbreaker for them and a big, big plus for Philadelphia. Two-man advantage down to 10 seconds. On top, Driver. His pass to the side, Messier and Gretzky. Messier brought it up, drops it back for Gretzky. Driver cutting in, Gretzky looking for help. Messier cutting, shot deflected right up in the air. Bounced at the feet of the players. Nobody saw it. Now a 5-on-4. Center. Lindros out of the box. A 5-on-4 Ranger advantage. Shorthanded Philadelphia. Eric Lindros moving on lead. Got there, rolled it in front, but it came wide. Gretzky hanging back at center. Graves cutting, trying to hit him. Graves in, onside to Gretzky. 5-on-4 power play. Back to Leach. 35 with the advantage. Flyers up by 1. Leach over to Gretzky. Gretzky trying to pass it to Messier on the far side. Lost it. And the high flip out of the zone by Renberg. Rangers chase it back in their own end again. Down to 15 on the advantage. Into the zone. Dykhouse clears that one out for Philadelphia.
Gary, how many good scoring chances have the Rangers even had?
I don't think they've had any. A couple of shots that were blasted in, but that's been it.
No. I mean, the Flyers penalty killers all season long. That was really the backbone of the special teams. The Flyers power play struggled all season. You got to remember, this was supposed to be a big Rangers advantage, their power play, because they were tops in the NHL.
Centering pass deflected as Lidster was cutting it. Penalty is over. The Flyers got it done. Samuelson holds it in. So they killed off a two-man advantage for a minute, and then the rest of the power play, and the Rangers unable to convert, remain down 1-0. Lidster again will back it in. Rangers will change it up. Hextall back to get it. 20-14. Shots in favor of the Rangers. Shirley with a big hit in the corner. Cleared back out into the middle. Rangers though have got to clear the zone. They just got out of there. Brought back for Coffey. He left it behind the net. Lindros on the near side. Can't be reached. Rolls the center. Lindros got it back over to Coffey. Coffey moving in. Back up the trailer. Lemaire cutting. Shot. Big save, Richard. Rebound loose. Deflected wide of the net. What a pass with a follow-up. Zubrus rather with a follow-up chance.
Brian Leach was the guy that saved it. It was wide open. Zubrus made an incredible move, and Brian Leach has just kept the Rangers to within one of the Flyers. Oh, man.
Leach gets credited with a save.
You bet he does, because Zubrus at 18 was cool enough to just pick this out of Mike Richter after John LeClair took his shot. Right here, he needed to pull it wide, and then Brian Leach came through. Oh, man.
Philadelphia and the Rangers trying to get to the Stanley Cup Finals. We'll be down to 2. Here at Madison Square Garden, Philadelphia hanging on to that 1-0 lead with Renberg. The goal in the first on a power play, the only goal. Brian Leach back on D. The Rangers have lived very dangerously in this game. They are fortunate it's only 1-0. Leach has been out there. We wondered how much he'd play with the bad wrist. 17-19 is the time he's been on the ice and is out there for this shift. Back end offside. Flyers. But the Flyers penalty killers right now are writing the story. 0 for 5 for the Rangers on the power play. Our new Dodge final fact tonight. This date in Stanley Cup history in '85, May 23, Gretzky scored the first of his 7 goals in the '85 finals, keying the Oilers to that 3-1 win over the Flyers in Game 2. Our new Dodge final fact. 5:11 left here in the second period. Gretzky came up, played on the power play. See whether or not that shot he took has any debilitating effect as the game goes along. Lidster held it up behind the net. Messier's played a ton here tonight as well. Rangers from center again, having a struggle to get it into the zone. Chase down Courtnall on the near side. It's just Philadelphia defense continues to throttle the Rangers and get it done. Shot Renberg, and he ripped that one wide. Rebound comes into the middle of Courtnall. Courtnall trying to feed Messier. Again, trying to sneak behind the D. John Bruce was there and intercepted. Cleared back in. Richter holds it up. Both teams changing it up on a flaw. Leach doesn't have anybody to go to. Waits for Gretzky's line to get out there. Intercepted Coffey. He sent it up. Could be icing. Won't be. Richter forced to play it. Going to jam it around the near side. Daniel Lacroix, the good hustle, forced that play by Richter and avoided the whistle. Philadelphia able to hold it in. While on the near side boards. Langdon on him. Langdon flat. Right through the crease. Just chipped out of that corner. Tikkanen clears it out of the zone. Philadelphia's got to get back on side. Rangers chase this one down. Tikkanen in the middle. Bouncing puck kicked away from Coffey. Coffey had tied up. That's a Tikkanen. Right back out of there. Leclerc dumped it back into the middle. Zubers gave chase. Partially got a piece of that. Cleared up intended for Gretzky. Robitaille had it blocked again by Zubers. Lidster drops it back. Look at the job Philadelphia is doing here defensively. Gretzky sent it into the middle. Robitaille though is heading off the ice for a change, and Dykhouse clears it out. They are just denying the Rangers any space and protecting that 1-0 lead and waiting for the break to get another goal. This disciplined Philadelphia team, that is the difference from last year to this year.
It really looks weird to see 10 skaters out there.
Yeah, the game played with a specialty team so far in this game. Centering pass deflected, back to the blue, and Churla able to get it out of there. Lindros along the boards, double team, but Churla unable to get much of him that time along with Eastwood. Flyers clear and dump. Near side, Churla in a battle going on with Leclerc. They separate themselves. Churla had a hold of Leclerc and just wouldn't let go. Therrien comes the other way. Terry in the move. He avoided the check of Leach. Therrien looking for Renberg. Save made. Richter rebound. Leclerc shot. Save made again. Richter getting that one with a glove. Leclerc chased it down behind the net. Back to Leclerc looking into the middle. Renberg's tip wide. And the Rangers will move it out. Courtnall comes up on the fly. Courtnall with Robitaille in the middle. Courtnall dropped it back. Leach trailing. Leach centering pass. Never got there. Bounced away to the near side boards. Rangers able to hold it in. Courtnall, but not for long. Renberg again the other way. Leaves it near side. Flyers changing it up. Brendamore shot it in wide of the net. Near side for Courtnall. Brendamore stays up on the check, forcing Lidster in the middle. Lidster's pass, that's partially blocked. The play by Hawerchuk, got a piece of that one. Courtnall sends it up. Gretzky's in the middle. Gretzky looking. Gretzky makes the turn, drops it to Lidster. Lidster trying to get a step down shot. Deflected near side. Had a screen set up on Hextall. He reached down on that one. Coffey's got it. Coffey clears it up, not out. Lidster held it in. Gretzky. Gretzky centering Graves. Had it blocked. Coffey again. Cleared.
Paul Coffey started that play with the block. This is as well as I've ever seen Paul Coffey play defensively, honestly. And Terry Murray just keeps putting him out there in crucial situations. Talk about a crucial save or more in the last couple of minutes. Mike Richter has been holding the Rangers in. His last big save was on John Leclerc.
Rangers had gone undefeated here at home before that last victory by Philadelphia to go up in the series 2-1.
We have seen Jeff Beukeboom banging away with Eric Lindros. He broke a stick on Trent Platt. This time he took John Leclerc to the boards and took him clean, took him hard. I'll tell you what, Jeff Beukeboom is playing huge.
Driver leaves it far side. Leach again. The shot. Hextall had to reach up on that one. As he had Tikkanen and Graves in front. Tikkanen comes over to get the puck. Tried to get it to Gretzky. Deflected away near side. Desjardins was there to help. Played off the near side boards. Philadelphia able to move it up, and Brendamore got it out of there. 1-0 Flyer lead. A minute 15 left here in the second period. Renberg got the power play goal in the first period. Came at 7:08, and that has been the only scoring in this game. And they will wave off on the icing. Swoboda came back. Nienema came back to help him out. Johnny Niemela starts it up ice. A minute to go in the period. His blast. That's blocked by Leach. Bookeboom in the corner again, putting the hit on. Puck freed up for Bruce, though. John Bruce around Leach, backs it in front. Brind'Amour shot once, twice, 3 times. And Richter hangs on. Bookeboom then drove Brind'Amour to the glass.
And Ross Cordial chopped him too, and that's going to have Rod Brind'Amour had what? 4 or 5 whacks at it? You know, sooner or later you're going to get taken out. And boy, did he ever get taken out. Well, Mike Richter looked like he'd put up kind of a wall there. There was no way. John Drews made an excellent play in the corner, and I think Terry Murray's kind of rewarding John Drews for his last shift by putting him back out there. Remember, Terry Murray has used 4 lines tonight in this hockey game, though. The special teams have dominated ice time. Therefore, Terry Murray's got a lot of guys that may be a little bit tired. Same with Colin Campbell, no question about that. So you put John Drews out at the end of a period. He's got legs. There was 1 chance, 2 chances, 3, 4, 5, 6, another bang. Finally, we're going to chop your legs off. That's what happens. Both Cardinal and Jeff Bookeboom took Brind'Amour to the wall.
Drews playing in his 8th playoff game this season, 8 of the 14. See Richter's numbers, games 1 through 3 in the regular season, and no question the percentage is down here, and heard a lot of that to this Philadelphia offense. In this game, though, it has been the defensive battle with the Flyers up 1-0. Lindros tipped it away but lost it at center, sent back the other way by Bookeboom. And they name another hit. Eastwood takes him down. Peter Svoboda came over to help. They chop away, and Graves got it, turns and shoots. Short side wide off the boards. 23 seconds left to go here in this period. And Neiman again got it up. Zubers moving it in, and Leclerc up ice, and a whistle and a penalty coming away at center. Yanni Nieminen got tied up along the red line on the far side by the benches. Kerry Fraser was hanging back watching all of this, and he's going to get at least 1 and maybe 2. Arviza storyline here in the Garden in this game 4. Power plays dominating tonight as far as ice time, as Bill said. Only 1 goal, though. The Flyers have won 12 of 14 previous series when they've had this 2-1 lead, and Renberg the only goal.
Arviza replays the men in armor going at it. There's only 1 goal scored in this game because of saves like this. Mike Richter at his end, Ron Hextall at the other end. Sometimes need a little help from a guy fanning on a shot, one of your defensemen coming back to help.
Mike Richter has come away with 19 saves. Ron Hextall at the other end has 23 in the 23 Rangers shots. Matching minors. Cross-checking calls on the extracurricular activity. Graves and Nienema out of there with 16 seconds. They've both gone to the dressing room. 16 left in the period. The one thing the Rangers have done is they've held it to a 1-0 lead.
No, and it has been no room night for Eric Lindros and John Leclerc. Alf Samuelsson and Jeff Bookeboom have really tried to beat them in the neutral zone, and the Flyers, this big line, Gary, I don't recall any time in this game when they've been able to establish their cycling game down low in the offensive zone.
What they have done is have their penalty killing unit work extraordinaire here in this game and deny the Rangers on 5 chances, including an extended 2-man advantage and another penalty. Eric Lindros, Alf Samuelsson got Lindros on the face-off at the blue line, and Samuelsson is going to go. Kerry Fraser standing right there watching with 10 seconds remaining in the period. 10.6.
Oh, you hear it, Kerry Fraser said 2 minutes for roughing so far.
That means get in the box.
Yeah. And he wanted to say it loud enough and clearly enough for Alf Samuelsson to hear it. That's why we can read his lips at 2 minutes so far. Here's Samuelsson coming up on Lindros. He took kind of a left poke at his face. Rangers have done what they can do to try to throw him off. Watch, Alf Samuelsson will come from your left. Yeah, he missed, but he went for it.
So Samuelsson will go for this glancing blow that he tried to level on Lindros.
You know, I mean, Jeff Bookeboom, when he got whacked on the back of the legs, he folded up and drew the penalty. Eric Lindros folded up. I mean, if you can do that, when that happens at ice level, we talked about the horizontal plane that a referee's on. Somebody comes with one of those left hands, all of a sudden the hand comes out from behind a crowd and the guy goes down from the ice. What are you going to think? He missed him?
Yep.
It's the hardest sport in the world to ref.
It results in a power play, a 4-on-3 power play for Philadelphia with 10.6 seconds left to go in the period. Eric Lindros will stay out on Messier against the draw. Messier wanted Bookable note. Couldn't control. Messier center right in front. Richter knocks it down. It makes the save. Desjardins coming from behind the net with Coffey. Ended up right in the middle, and the Rangers had real problems handling that puck. And Richter had to make another big save.
And it was huge. Faceoff was actually won cleanly, but too cleanly. The Flyers jumped in. Richter's had to use every ounce of his agility, and that's his big strength. Good coverage over there by the two Rangers went over there. Bruce Driver was one of them that went over there to take his man, and then Bookable sealed it off. But because Desjardins had swung in front, they got a pretty good scoring chance. There's time for one more scoring chance if Brind'Amour can win this draw.
And he does. To Lindros in the middle, a shot, and that deflects off Bookable to the boards, and that's the period. But as was true going to the second, Philadelphia going to the third will have a power play to start the period. And the first period goal by Renberg at 7:08 has held up. And Philadelphia, leading in the series 2-1, has a 1-0 lead here in Game 4. John and Barry.
All right, Gary and Bill, thanks a lot. You mentioned it during the last intermission that the Flyers penalty killing unit was doing a terrific job, and it was a factor in this period.
Huge factor. John, the New York Rangers had a 4-on-3 and a 5-on-3 for over a minute. When those guys, Messier, Gretzky, Graves, Leach, etc., have that much time on a 5-on-3, they got to score. In a 1-0 game, you're down 2-1 in this series. You got a lot of things going against you. You must score in that 4-on-3, 5-on-3 situation, and they didn't do it.
You almost expect it with those skilled players.
Yes,
indeed.
you do.
Still 1-0 after 2 periods of play time for the New Dodge intermission report. When we come back, we'll turn our eyes to the West, where Detroit is 1 win away from the Stanley Cup final.
ESPN's coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs is brought to you by the New Dodge. It's about change. And by Milwaukee's Best. When you're looking for a different breed of beer, unleash the beast. Milwaukee's Best.
Beautiful shot at Lincoln Center. Welcome back, everybody. Madison Square Garden in New York. Gary Thorne, Bill Clement, Brian Engblom. As the teams come back out for the third period, Rangers have been shut out twice in the playoffs this year. Once by Florida and once by the New Jersey Devils. Hextall is shutting them out here. Personnel-wise, Bill, third period. Who's available?
Well, the Flyers have more players available. They use about 11 forwards. The New York Rangers use their top players in all the special team situations. So trailing by a goal, it'll be one of those challenges of stamina for the Rangers to try to come back.
Rangers can say we're within striking distance. Philadelphia can say our penalty killing has been exceptional. We've held you off the board.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't expect the third period to be special teams oriented at all. 5-on-5, and we'll see if the Flyers bench strength can help them.
All right, let's turn the spotlight on. Check in with Brian Engblom. Brian?
In the spotlight this time, Gary, we have 2 of the best Russian defensemen ever in the National Hockey League. And it was Wayne Gretzky who pinpointed the difference, major difference between the 2 guys. Brian Leach on the attack will pick his way through in the offensive zone, then stay committed to offense. He will stay in the zone a lot longer. When it's Paul Coffey's turn inside the zone, he will take the puck, make his play on net, make his pass or whatever, then he will circle back and get in position defensively. That is the major difference. You can keep your eye out between these guys. They also know how to play the clock and the score. Gary, Bill?
There is Paul Coffey, who, as we mentioned, is having one of his finer playoff years for this veteran who has had some really fine playoff years.
Yep, he really has. Brian Leach, on the other hand, his ice time is back up, so he's feeling better than he was in Game 3. But Eric Cairns has not played very much for the Rangers, so Colin Campbell is even short on D. Karpatsev is still away, pending the situation over in Russia. And Colin Campbell has used 5 defensemen versus the Flyers 60. All of that said, the New York Rangers are still 1 goal away here going into the third period. Mark Messier and Wayne Gretzky do not have a shot on goal yet. But this is the Rangers period. This will tell us whether their season is going to continue. Mind you, they would only go down 3-1, but as undermanned as they are, how good would their chances be of coming back against the Flyers should they not be able to pull this one out? Not very good.
Not very good. Renberg the goal at 7:08. Howard, Chuck, and Coffey the assist. It was a power play goal in the first period. That is the lone goal up there on the board. Flyers 1 for 5 on the advantage. Rangers have gone 0 for 5 on the power play. Shots are 23-21 in favor of the Rangers, and we start here with a power play underway for Philadelphia. It is a 4-on-3 power play that continues for the Flyers. Brought back to the point. Lindros was set up in front. Now goes behind the net from Brind'Amour. Couldn't hang on. Driver back there hit by Lindros. Got it away to Bookeboom. Bookeboom looking for some room. Finds it. And Paul Coffey will give chase. A minute 20 on the Magic Miners. A minute 22 on the other penalty up on the board against the Rangers. Brought back in by Desjardins. Dropped it into the middle. Lindros leaves it. Coffey cutting up near side. Coffey. Lindros playing back at a point. Trying to get it back to him with Player. Taken out of the play by Driver. And tipped out of the zone by Messier. Lindros was there, though, to pick it up. Eric Lindros. They get onside. They move it back to Leclerc. His drop pass to nobody. And it'll be cleared up by Messier. Right in on Hextall. Messier will stay out. Messier headed to the bench and turned around and came back out. Desjardins moves it in. Lindros still out there. Lindros got leveled by Lidster. Takes Lidster down in exchange. Esa Tikkanen, though, has room to get it out of there. 30 seconds remaining in the Magic Miners. Power play time still on here in this 4-on-3. Run back in by Lindros. Goes into the middle. Shot on. Saved by Richter. Lindros the rebound. Set it down. Shot saved. Richter. Rebound. Tip wide by Brind'Amour. Messier dropped it back. Esa Tikkanen with Messier on the right. 3 back for the Flyers. Esa Tikkanen the move. Tikkanen backhand score. Rangers tie the game. Esa Tikkanen as he used Messier as a decoy.
What a big game player. Esa Tikkanen made that happen. But a play happened at the Rangers end that was key. Rod Brind'Amour made a great play, and Mike Richter was even better to stone him. Eric Lindros turned around, and away came the Rangers. Mark Messier at the end of this shift seems to have tons of energy. He came up and complicated things for the Flyers coverage, but Tikkanen made it look easy. He deked to his backhand on Carl Dykhuis, and then chipped one up over Ron Hextall. Solo effort by Esa Tikkanen. Boy, is he a big game player, and he has done it consistently throughout this playoff year.
The Philadelphia defense was sure he was going to drop that puck to Mark Messier.
Yep, one little fake, and he made the move. Carl Dykhuis stood up. You know, Carl Dykhuis had help coming back on that side. If he cheated the other way and forced Esa Tikkanen into his forehand, he might have been able to get a better result, but Esa Tikkanen made him pay.
And the game is tied at 1. It is a short-handed goal. First one for the Rangers in the playoffs. Esa Tikkanen getting it to tie the game at 1. The power play is still underway here for Philadelphia. Still a 4-on-3. Now, Philadelphia responded in Game 3 when the Rangers scored and got it tied up at 2-2. They answered 2:33 later, and the Rangers tied it at 3-3. Philadelphia came back 38 seconds later. So the Flyers have responded to Ranger goals here in this series. Let's see if they can do it here. All the penalties are over. We're back to a 5-on-5. Tikkanen's goal coming at 1:41. Doug Lidster the assist, short-handed goal.
But if the Rangers are ever going to get a boost of adrenaline, it's now, because this huge crowd is wild and alive. Let's take you back to Game 3. Flyers looked like everything was going their way until they overskated the puck. And Wayne Gretzky tied the game at 3. This is what you were talking about, Gary, the Flyers' ability to bounce back. 38 seconds after the Gretzky goal in Game 3, Trent Platt came back and scored what proved to be the winning goal.
A 1-1 game just underway, third period. 5-on-5. Desjardins shot glove by Richter. Philadelphia has now allowed 4 short-handed goals in the playoffs, tying them for the most surrendered with the Avalanche.
Boy, special teams have been just an incredible part of this hockey game. While the Flyers' penalty killing was magnificent at the end of the second period, now they come out with that power play and allow a short-handed goal and just a super individual effort by Esa Tikkanen. This guy's got ice in his veins. I'll tell you what, he gets bigger and badder as the series moves forward further and further.
Including the playoffs, Flyers outscoring the opposition 128-75 in the third team that does not ever stop coming at you. And the fans begin the Hextall chant here. But boy, he has done the job for Philadelphia.
Yeah, you know that chant has been sort of poised and ready to jump out of Ron Hextall, but it's hardly had a chance to happen in the 2 games that he's played here, a couple nights ago and this one.
He got worried after the last game. He said, before the game, they make me feel warm and fuzzy. And then when they didn't go in very much, he said, you don't really think I make them feel warm and fuzzy, do you?
No chance.
With a big smile on his face. Back in behind the net, Klatt looking to center. Leach tied it up. Klatt still has it. Good play by Klatt. Back to Terry, and Terry ran it into the middle. Shot. Richter's got to make a save on Otto and dives to cover. And here's Philadelphia putting that retaliatory heat right back on. Sunday Night Baseball, 8 o'clock this Sunday night. One of the great traditions in baseball, the Red Sox and the Yankees will be coming your way at 8 o'clock Eastern Time on the Sunday Night Baseball Game of the Week. They are playing tonight at Yankee Stadium in New York in the 7th inning. This is a shot of Yankee Stadium tonight. The Yankees are leading in the game 3-2 in the 7th. You'll see them tomorrow night from the House of Ruth.
Colin Campbell, towards the end of the first period, retooled his lines. Adam Graves is not on the line that is checking against Eric Lindros. He has been moved to the Wayne Gretzky line to try and provide some offense. And Mike Eastwood has taken over the responsibility of playing head-to-head with 88.
Campbell trying to find some offense here. And that's going to be whistled on the offside as they had not cleared the zone.
And Adam Graves will take the faceoffs in the Rangers zone when Wayne Gretzky is on the ice. He played center in Edmonton. Remember when he centered the kid line with Joe Murphy on one side, Martin Schelling on the other side in 1990 when the Oilers won the Cup against Boston in the finals. And he has played center this season. Every time Mark Messier has been on the limp or had to miss a game for whatever reason, Adam Graves has been pressed into the center role. It's not his regular position, but he is really a terrific guy to have to fill in.
Looking for his first point of this series for Graves, who has 2 goals and an assist in this playoff year. Off the draw, Rangers able to hold it in. Eastwood sent it off the stick of Hextall to the near side wall. Philadelphia out, can't convert to Lindros cutting. Sent back into the zone. Hit put on by Eastwood. And he got the puck away, and Lindros will move it out. Lindros off the board. Zubris. Bookeboom beat him there, and he went up into the Ranger bench to draw the whistle. 1-1, third period.
You know, we talked about this defense pairing for the Rangers, Bookeboom and Ulf Samuelsson, who are only playing their 2nd game together and who really crashed and burned the first time this was experimented with season before last in San Jose. Tonight in this hockey game, they have stood up and they have played like they've really played together for years. Eric Lindros and his guys have not been able to get their game set up down low where they cycle the puck so well, mostly because Ulf Samuelsson and Bookeboom have stood up and not let him get it in.
There's been a marked man. No surprise there. Otto cleared that one out. Yanni Nieminen coming back together. And game tied here at 1. A pivotal game for these teams. Klatt looking for another big goal. And he got the shot on Richter. Knocked it down. Rebound shot. Bodine. Short side. Rebound. Wraparound by Joel Otto. Deflected up and over the glass. Philadelphia immediately after the Rangers got that tying goal come right back and put the heat on here in this 1-1 game. All-Star Cafe here in Times Square, and watching the Rangers Flyers here in game 4 of this Eastern Conference Final. Our exclusive coverage here on ESPN, and a good one, tied at 1-1. Eastwood won the draw. Samuelsson batted it away. Rangers able to clear. Churla, he'll come to the red and dump that one in. Now Dykhouse up front on this. Dykhouse got there, took the hit, moved it up the boards, but not out. Has to come back the other way. Eastwood pins him back into the zone. Good work by Dallas Eakins, who's not played a lot tonight. He's out there along with Churla and Eastwood. Sent into the far side. Churla. Churla's got a man open in front. The puck went right by him. Bookeboom shot. Deflected up over Hextall. Hextall down to block one on the ice, and it got chipped right up and over. Lindros bounced it off the boards. Eastwood moves over, cleared out into the middle. Zubris knocked away. Rangers trying to get a line change here. Get caught halfway through it. Coffey moved it in. Coffey dropped it. Trying to hit Leclaire. Leclaire just kicked that one away to Renberg. Renberg shot. That one went through a screen. Richter had to knock that away. Leclerc had set up a screen and had Vukovic with him tied up. Puck came right through the both of them. Richter again on the deflection on Desjardins. Chance. That's a Tikkanen cutting through the middle. Tikkanen out with Gretzky and Samuelsson moved it in. Samuelsson had that one wide. Hextall cut the angle. Great shot. Blown down. Rebound. Gretzky. Samuelsson batted into the corner. Gretzky trying to get it back up to the blue. Intercepted. 3-on-2 the other way. Brandamore will move it in now. A 4-on-3 in the middle. Howard-Chuck tried to draw it back. Couldn't get it there. Good play by Howard-Chuck trying to pull that back. Renberg centering pass blocked. Furious pace. Gretzky up for Graves. He's got Tikkanen on the left. Graves will move it in. Tikkanen waiting for him here. Tikkanen looking for help. Driver cutting. Driver got held up behind the play by Rod Brandamore. 5 minutes into the third period. Rangers have tied it here in the third. 1 apiece. The Philadelphia win. They go up 3-1. Richter a save again on Platt. Who gunned that one in. Courtnall's got it. Into the middle of Graves. Graves. Rangers change it. Graves to the red. Will back it in. Messier brings his line out. Naniimana behind the net. Shot put on him, but he moved it around the boards and got it out of there to Platt. Platt will head to the front. Return pass. Just a little bit too far behind to get a stick on it. Cleared up and out of the zone. Robitaille got it out. No icing. Hextall comes to play it. Naniimana again turning it. Otto signaling he wants to get off the ice. Platt's been out there a long time. Guns it off and they'll send it in and change right here. Samuelsson, take a breath.
Boy, Terry Murray's come back with the Lindros line. He's going to use him a ton because he knows that as long as he can keep Lindros on the ice, Colin Campbell, if he keeps his matchup, is going to have the checking line out there. So the way to keep Messier and Gretzky off the ice, or at least limit their ice time, is play the Lindros line till they drop.
And that's what's happening right here. And Colin Campbell indeed does match it up. Vukovic looking for help in the middle. Deflected away to Eastwood. Eastwood's pass blocked. Lindros coming in. He's got some room. Lindros blasted that one. Vukovic may have gotten a piece as it went high. Rebounded all the way to center. Coffey's back there to get it. Paul Coffey returning deeper. Rangers completing a line change behind it. Zubers moves it in. Lindros line still out. Centering pass intended for Lindros. Goes to the boards. Leclerc moved over. Rolled to center. Philadelphia will get back onside. Rangers change it up again. Dump back in wide. Philadelphia changing. Esa Tikkanen has got the Ranger goal. Out there with Gretzky. Back to Tikkanen. Tikkanen to the blue. His blast wide. Rebound far side. Graves. Got beaten to it by Terrien. And Philadelphia moves it back. Both teams really flying through center ice.
How about this? As soon as the game got tied, it opened up. One of the reasons it opened up is both teams are getting to the mid area of the ice, the red line, and dumping in, especially the Flyers. And that's why we've gone back and forth slow. We haven't had that yet in this game.
Desjardins sent it in. Howard-Chuck down the middle. Had a chance. Comes back out. Desjardins. That blocked as it hit Renberg. Cleared up and not out. Again, Desjardins shot. Richter makes the save. Furious pace. Third period. Rangers, Flyers, 1 apiece.
Well, a couple of minutes ago, Ron Hextall needed help. Ulf Samuelsson had ended up back in deep, and if not for number 37 for the Flyers, Eric Desjardins, Ulf Samuelsson had a goal for himself, and then Eric Desjardins paid. Wayne Gretzky went after him with looked like a little poke on the inside of the leg. Those hurt. There's no padding in there.
Who slashed Wayne Gretzky?
I think it might have been 37 wearing the orange and black.
He got him on the hand in the second period. Numbers remembered. 12:43 remaining to go. Third period. Face-off coming to the left of Richter. Flyers leading this series 2-1. Next game in Philadelphia Sunday.
Now, sorry, Gary, for the face-off now, Mark Messier is out there. Mike Eastwood is watching.
Messier's won a lot of draws here in this game. Sent back behind to Vukovic and cleared out of the zone. Philadelphia will get back onside here as they rag it back in the end. Lindros line stays out. Messier out there now with the Eastwood. Shot in. Renberg save made. Rebound right into the middle. Messier taken away. Lost it. Lindros couldn't control though. Cleared back out the center and dumped into the zone. Flyers here in the playoffs when they've had the lead going to the third have lost only 1 and have won 8. The Rangers when trailing have won 1. game in the third period where they're going to come from behind. Richter again. That one into the pads and will stay there as John LeClair put the wrist shot on. While they separate, we'll check in with John Saunders. John?
Well, Gary, it's time for the 1-800-COLLECT Great Save of the Week. Alexei Gusarov of the Avalanche right in front. Mike Vernon sticks out the right pad, comes up with the save. Here's another look at it. Quickly off. Vernon right there. That's your great save of the week.
And those two teams will go at it in what could be the deciding game on ESPN tomorrow night from Denver. The Red Wings and the Avalanche at 7:30 Eastern and 4:30 Pacific. Sergei Fedorov, 6 points in the last 3 games, a goal and an assist in the last one, as he has come alive for Detroit. Him and a shot deflected, just batted down in front. Brind'Amour. Wow. Brind'Amour almost able to deflect that one by Richter.
That would have been a play that he owned from start to finish because he won the draw cleanly from Mark Messier back to the point.
Philadelphia sending it in. Lidster there blocked it, but cannot clear. Philadelphia's physical presence after that Ranger goal again taking over here. And Zubas will pin that one up. Robitaille hanging on over there on Brind'Amour. And we'll get a face. Now let's take a look at our Molson League leaderboard. The leading goal scorers in this year's playoffs. Claude Lemieux with 11 for Colorado. Gretzky behind him with 10, and Eric Lindros with 9, the top 3.
Who's going to be the hero? Will it be Wayne Gretzky, as he has done so many times in his career? Played 20 minutes just about out of 48-21. Wayne's played more than that. Or will the hero be somebody like Eric Lindros? Dismantled the Rangers here in Game 3.
Required us of taking him to the playoffs, did the Rangers. He's that kind of player, and he's proven them correct. It is a 1-1 game. Renberg, the power play goal in the first. That's a taken in with a shorthanded goal here in the third. Gretzky will send it in. Tikkanen stays out on the line with him. Hextall cleared it around. Rolled right back into the middle. Klatt was there to pick it up. Trent Klatt on the fly. 2 back. Driver got the stick up on him. Knocked him off the play. Tikkanen on the back. Check control. Touchdown. Bruce is on him. He'll leave it back in behind the net. Rangers will start from there. Eric Cairns is out waiting. Rangers complete a change here. He needed some help, so Tikkanen came back. Otter was up in the forecheck. Cairns drops it off wide side. Driver intended for Tikkanen, but batted down at the blue. Rangers get it back the other way. Gretzky will head to the bench and change it up for the Rangers. Graves up on the forecheck here for New York. Brought back up by Desjardins. Knocked that one down in the middle. Bad pass. Rebound in front. Shot Hextall. And he makes the save. Rebound. Hextall down on the ice on Graves' a chance. 2 chances. Shane Churla intercepting at the blue. Went in and got a backhand off. And then Graves with a rebound chance right into Hextall.
While that was going on, the Rangers got away with one. They had 6 skaters on the ice. Mike Eastwood came on as the 6th guy and almost made it to the red line. About 20-30 feet from the bench. Then went back, then was able to change. But they had clearly 6 skaters on the ice, and nobody saw it. The play was going the other way. Boy, once Ron Hextall went down on this play, he decided just to stay down. I mean, he stacked his pads, stacked the body, stretched his arm out, hoped to have a 50-inch sleeve.
And there was Desjardins again, standing behind Hextall, but right there, waiting to make another save.
Did Adam Graves step on that stick? It looked like the stick, Chris Therrien's stick, got in the way of Shane Churla, and then Adam Graves, just lying there.
33-30 the shots. Flyers with the advantage. Game time, 1 apiece. And this face-off will come back out to center. On the draw, Lindros won it against Eastman. Now Dykhouse, forced back by Shane Churla, just cleared it out. Al Samuelson will give chase. Samuelson left it for Churla. Lost it in the corner to Renberg. Bookeboom over there with a hit. Philadelphia, the pressure, the turnover. Renberg kicked it back. LeClair the spin. LeClair tried to drop it. Had it intercepted. 2-on-2, 3-on-3. Eastwood leads it back. Samuelson shot. Save made. Deflected wide off Hextall. Shane Churla trying to hold it in. Can't. Philadelphia changing. New legs on the ice in part for them. Zobrist will move it in. His shot high. Eric Lindros in the corner, just came back out on the ice. Samuelsson behind the net.
Very often, because Michael Renberg has that bad ankle, Terry Murray has kind of split the shift and had Dinah Zubrich relieve Renberg, who's been reunited with Leclerc and Lindros on that Legion of Doom line.
Niederma got the pass up ice. Intercepted Lidster. It's intended for Brendamore. Rangers clear. There'll be no icing here. Here's Swoboda goes behind the net. Niederma near side into the middle. 1-1 the score. 9:18 left here in the third period. Hawerchuk sends it in. Messier on the far side, cutting it off. Messier turns to the middle to Leach. Right in front. Leach breaks out. 3-on-2. Ryan Leach. Leach moves it. Dropped it in. Pass behind Messier. Now a chance for the same thing the other way. Brendamore coming. Brendamore moving it into Niederma. Niederma looking for Brendamore in front. Blocked and sent off the near side boards by Leach. Here we go again. A 4-on-2 the other way. Robitaille leading from Messier. Messier wants to wrist it but can't. Couldn't find anybody. Driver drops it wide side Leach. His shot deflected. Robitaille can't reach it as he went down. And it'll be brought out by the Flyers. Odd man rushes each way. Open this baby up. There's Robitaille dove for the last one. Couldn't get it. Here comes Leach again. Flyers still changing here. Gretzky, the middle. Gretzky shot. Save made. And held on to by Hextall.
Oh, Colin Campbell looks like he can't bear to watch. Oh, man.
Heart attack type season. Third period, 8:16 left to go. Game tied at 1-1. Campbell looking when Messier couldn't drive that one home. Oh well, he said.
Or something to that effect.
Madison Square Garden fans getting a treat here to start this holiday. A 1-1 third period score.
You know, Brian Leach was part of the 3-on-2 that went the first rush to the Flyers. Then he got back and was one of the 2 men back on the Flyers odd man rush. And then Brian Leach led a 4-on-2 the other way. It's a magnificent shift. Wayne Gretzky didn't have a chance to wind up. He didn't get much on that. It was an easy save for Ron Hextall, but Brian Leach may have a sore arm and sore wrist. His legs are fine.
Through the Rangers with the odd man rush advantage, now 5-2. Philadelphia able to clear it out of the zone. Driver and Podine on the far side battle. Graves came up, found the puck, sent it right back in. Niederma takes the hit by Graves, but he got that pass off. That allows Philadelphia to clear it out of there again. He was one cool character. Niederma doesn't make mistakes, follows it up, takes the shot, missed it wide. Eastwood cleared up for Graves. He sends it out of the zone. 7:45 left in the third. Lindros back up, Flyers onside. Leclerc in the corner. Renberg in front of the net. Near side for Lindros. I think Michael Renberg is skating so well here tonight, and that ankle looks so much better that he's been moved back up, and the Legion of Doom's been reunited.
And he's been able to last for most of the shift, and it looks like Zubrich is now going to skate with Rod Brind'Amour as he has for about the last period.
Want to remind you, on the Deuce, NHL Tonight will be coming your way tonight at 11 o'clock. All the highlights and stories surrounding this game, a look at the game you'll see tomorrow on ESPN, Detroit and Colorado. Chance for Detroit to wrap it up. Bill Pito will be along 11 o'clock on the Deuce tonight.
This is the man that has taken Jeff Bukaboom's spot alongside Brian Leach. He's got a banged up shoulder. He may even be playing with a frozen shoulder for this hockey game. He had his mouth frozen with a root canal this morning.
The last standing is what the Stanley Cup is usually about. And it's turning out that way again this year. Off the face-off. Dropped back in behind the net. Or at least tried to by Leach, but it got caught in the skates. Good play by Otto. Rangers clear. Gretzky's out there. Call Coffey. Wayne Gretzky. Spent a lot of time skating the same way, but not this year. Graves intercepted. Hextall will come out along the boards. Hextall plays it around the far side. Otto moved it out. Waits. That's for the Rangers to go by. We're looking at the time remaining in the third period. This big pivotal game. Leach near side couldn't handle, and they had the Flyers dead to right. Flyers had nobody on the ice when Leach had that puck hit his stick. Desjardins behind the net. Robitaille cuts it off. Robitaille trying to roll it back into the middle. Couldn't get it there. 1, opens up at center. 3-on-2 chance right here. Bruce moving it in. Poke check away, trying. Jam up against the boards. Cordinal moved over on Brendamore. Still loose out in front. Clipped away. 3-on-2. Robitaille. Messier. 3-on-3. Messier dropped it. Driver. Not quite. Right back checking work. Desjardins again. Eric Desjardins stayed with it. Driver tried to tip. Boom! He blasted it wide. Rebound to Drews, who clears it out. Icing.
Desjardins has been forced into a lot of great plays because the Flyers have kind of thrown caution to the wind. They want to win this thing, but they're getting their third man caught so many times. We showed you those odd man rushes. The first time in this series, the Flyers have trailed in the odd man rush department, and when you give up odd man rushes, you just hope you've got guys back there that can handle it. Here comes the 3-on-2 with Messier trying to get it through to Bruce Schreiber. Therrien with one poke, and then the assist from Desjardins to dump it up the boards. But the Flyers are living on the edge right now.
There is Therrien, who came into this game with a +14 in the playoffs. That is one really impressive number. Last game, he added to it with that +3. He and Desjardins have been exceptional out there on the ice.
They were on the ice for the last 3 Flyers goals, the goals that gave them the 4-5 and ultimately 6-3 win.
Nearing the 6-minute mark of the third. The game tied at 1. Lost behind the net, centered. Hextall got a piece of that one on the turnover. Good effort made down low by Churla again, who centered that. Samuelsson takes it back in behind the net. Both coaches playing some quick games now over there on the benches. As they're trying to match up here, Terry Murray sending him out in a hurry. The Rangers come over to try and match it up. Churla sent it in. Eastwood had it batted away, but he was offside anyway.
So here we are in the conference finals in the East with Colin Campbell on one bench, Terry Murray on the other one. The Toronto Sun, a newspaper in Canada, had a poll before Christmas, and they said which one of these 3 coaches should be fired because the Flyers were struggling, the Rangers were struggling, Penguins were struggling, Eddie Johnson was the 3rd coach. You wonder why coaches end up with kind of a jaded attitude towards the media sometimes and towards some of the things they have to cope with in their precarious careers and existences. Here they are in the conference finals, and these were 2 of the 3 that everybody was voting on, which should go.
It's a wonderful thing that you have to play the games, isn't it?
Yeah.
And play the seasons. Lindros. Samuelsson got there first, banged it behind the net. Eric Lindros stayed right with it. In the corner, the jam up. Renberg rolled it in. Bookaboo was there and cut it off. Churla's getting more ice time now. Can't get it by Paul Coffey, though. Second effort to get it up doesn't work either. Backhanded in. They were waiting to cover, and it'll be flipped over the boards as Samuelsson stayed back. 2 turnover by the Rangers, but does not result in a goal. Tomorrow night, can Detroit do it in Denver? Can they wrap it up and move on to the Stanley Cup Finals? They've got the 3-1 lead. It'll be on ESPN. 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific tomorrow night. Sergei Fedorov, who's been leading the charge for them. Wouldn't mind having a chance to come back to New York if that's how it worked out, or Philadelphia if that's how it worked out. Here in New York, folks do get to see him when he suddenly shows up on the board.
He is everywhere.
Everywhere man. Face-off coming to the left of Mike Richter. 5:11 left, third period. 1-1 the score. On the boards. Coming in again, held it in. His shot partially blocked by Lidstrom. Held in by Howard. Reached back to get it. Leach paid over there. Puck still loose. Leach reached out, grabbed it. Gretzky reaches in, starts it out. 3 back though, 3-on-3. Gretzky. That's a Tikkanen cutter. Looking for a little help. Got it on a pick. Josh Tikkanen deflected behind the net. Tikkanen leaves it for Gretzky in the corner. Back up to Tikkanen in the middle of Leach. Leach couldn't get it to set for his shot. Cleared around again. Danny Nieminen was over there. Hit put on Renberg. Graves held it in. Brendamore drops it on. Nieminen will lead the charge. Flyers changing, so he had to wait for a little help and got it. Down the middle, flat. Dropped it. Shot. Richter, big save. Ended up being a 2-on-1 on that line change with Sean Bodine getting the chance. Up ice. Tough handle there for Robitaille. Dropped it. Shot ripped wide. And a penalty coming out of the Flyers. Along the near side boards. Harry Fraser was there and saw the hole with 4:10 left. 1-1 and a Ranger These are the faces of the players, some of whom are remaining here in this quest to have their names inscribed on the cup. Those two have had it there. 4 times Gretzky, 6 times Messier. The Philadelphia Flyers early on, before the season ever started, a heavily favored team. It is a 1-1 game here. For this series, 2-1 advantage to Philadelphia. If the Rangers get the power play, auto the hold at 15-50. The 6th power play of the game for the Rangers. They have not converted. They have an Essetikkanen short-handed goal. That's the only one they've got. 0 for 5 tonight. They are 3 for 17 against Philadelphia. Driver moves it in. Bruce Driver at the top, near side for Courtnall. Tried to get it through the middle. Overtime, had it knocked down. Rangers hold it in here. Driver back. Courtnall couldn't handle it. Brind'Amour clears it out. Penalty killing unit of Philadelphia has been magnificent here in this game and throughout the playoffs. They've been able to clear the puck out. They've challenged the puck against the Rangers, and it's worked. Sent in by Leach. Chased down by Dykhouse. Dykhouse the hard up, not out. Driver. Now poked away by John Druce. Druce and Clark. Leach in the middle. John Druce. Shot. Save made. Rebound. Druce. Headed. Ball down. He scores. A short-handed goal for John Druce. And the Flyers take a 2-1 lead.
Oh, man. This is one of the guys we were talking about that gives the Flyers the bench strength. John Druce has played 6 or 8 shifts. When everybody else was getting worn out, John Druce was waiting for a play like this to happen. There was a good keep at the blue line, it looked like, by Bruce Driver, but then he couldn't hold it in. And John Druce and Trent Klatt came away. Klatt made this happen to a degree by scooting up on the play. If there's a review, it'll stand. There's no way Trent Klatt was in the crease. What a play by John Druce. Mike Richter made a fantastic save on the first one, but couldn't hold the rebound. Right up and under against the twine and out. And the man that has been riding the bench for a lot of this hockey game, but every time he has been out, he has shown great speed. Got a chance to come out and kill a penalty with 3 minutes and change left in the game, and has given the Flyers a 2-1 lead, and Mark Messier just looks on in disbelief.
John Druce's first point of this playoff year, and this the 8th game, 8 of the 14 that he's played in, and the Flyers have a 2-1 lead on a short-handed goal.
He had to make a heck of a play, Gary, to get it in the net. He was moving away from the net, his right shoulder down, bad angle. He tried to get it up in the air, which was a smart play in case anybody dove back, and he just shelved it. I mean, that was one tremendous effort from start to finish by John Druce.
16:47, the time of the goal. First he's had this year. And a 2-1 lead. Now 1:03 remaining on the power play for the Rangers, while Hextall takes care of an equipment problem back there.
Kind of interesting that equipment problem occurred right about now with 3:13 to go to make sure the right guys get rested.
That's what Messier's got his head down about here. Not only the goal, but the delay. Our head and shoulders storyline. Short-handed goal by Essetikkanen is 8th of the playoffs. The Flyers 5-1 on the road, and Druce the go-ahead. Power play still underway for the Rangers. Brian Leach back in his own end. Leach starts it up for Graves. Graves sends it in wide. And up and out of there by Therrien again. Richter at the other end holds it up for Leach. For the penalty killers, what a night they have had so far for Philadelphia. Not only denying the Rangers, but picking one up themselves, and Klatt was involved again. Tikkanen moves it in. Essetikkanen. Graves in the middle. Dropped it back. Gretzky trying to get there. Brind'Amour the dive and cleared it out. Leach back. Down to 19 on the power play chance. Essetikkanen over to Leach. Leach moving it in. Leach whips it around for Gretzky. John Druce right back out there. Gretzky, Druce. Gretzky's got the puck. Leach cutting in for Leach. It's deflected. Comes to the near side. Leach trying to sneak in on the offside. Gretzky again for Leach. Scott! Leach from Wayne Gretzky. What a finish we've got for you in this one. It's 2-2.
In this series has owned. Ron Hextall left down behind the goal line. As soon as as Brian Leetch saw the puck going around there, he moved to the shooting hole, and Brian Leetch, who has just worked tirelessly in this hockey game, has tied it with 2:08 to go. Carl Dykhouse had 2 men over there. I mean, nobody was able to get to the front. If I'm not mistaken, that might have been John Druce who was out on the kill. There's John Druce. He ended up letting Brian Leetch jump by him and get into the shooting hole. When Brian Leetch is out there, that's when you got to look behind you. Peter Svoboda went to the corner, Brian Leetch moved in, and John Druce couldn't get there in time.
Wayne Gretzky keeps his scoring streak alive now in 8 games. 6 goals, 6 assists for Gretzky as he set up Brian Leetch, who picks up the goal for Leetch's first of this series and his second of the playoffs. Robitaille gets the other assist, 17:52. It is an even strength goal as the power play time had expired. 2 minutes left to go in regulation. Game tied at 2. This deserving of a conference championship game, especially this third period. On the far side, tied up. Leclaire comes away with it. And a whistle and a penalty, and the Rangers coming. Delayed call. Lindros shot. Deflected away. Hextall heads up. Shot deflected near side. There's the whistle. With 1:36 left. Leclaire got cut. That's the call. There's a little action after the fact here when Richter tried to draw a penalty by going down when he felt he got touched.
John Leclaire is sliced up. This will be an interesting call. If it was deemed accidental, but there's an injury, you almost got to go with the double minor. I think this might have been Jeff Beukeboom. There's 23. There's also 32. It was Jeff Beukeboom that got him up high. And this will be a real interesting call here. I mean, if there's injury, generally it's a double minor, and Jeff Beukeboom went up high and got him up high.
Philadelphia is unhappy about something here. Beukeboom is already in the box.
Well,
maybe it's only a... It is a double minor. Nothing to be unhappy about there. Now Colin Campbell will be unhappy.
Gosh. Now there is blood. Now if it was ruled intentional, it's a match penalty, which is a combination of a 5 and a game misconduct, but it's a double minor. I think what they maybe wanted was a call on Michael Renberg, who banged into Mike Richter as that play was ending. Talking about 4 minutes versus 2 minutes.
The reason they're at Rangers with only a minute 35 left here in the third, it would carry over.
I think they're saying John Leclaire might have been nipped already, Gary, and Gary Fraser's talking. But see over the eye. John Leclaire was cut over the eye too. So whether the cut on the nose was already there, I'm not sure is relevant because it looks. Oh, come on.
There was no question.
You can argue that all they want. I mean, that's pretty nicked up. We haven't seen John Leclaire that nicked up, so the Rangers can argue, but it's not going to happen.
18:25. Leclaire came out. He can't play. You can't be bleeding and play. They've got to take care of that before he's going to be allowed on the ice. So what you've got is a double minor with only a minute 35 left to go in regulation with a game tied at 2-2. And the power play numbers tonight. The specialty teams have dominated this game. Each team's got a shorthanded goal. The Philadelphia Flyers are 1 for 5 on their power play here tonight. 3 for 14 in the series. Lindros will stay out. A tense moment for whomever you are cheering for.
No timeout called by the Flyers to get John Leclaire patched up, so they'll go ahead and play it.
Mark Messier on the face-off, won it back. Cleared around by Samuelson and out of the zone. Johnny Nieminen comes back to get it. Philadelphia with a chance to take the lead on a power play with a minute 20 to go in the third period. Richter off the blocker, sends that one up and into the seats on the shot from center ice. He'll take the face-off as Zubris gummed that one in.
Boy, what a dramatic finish to a hockey game. Remember, the Rangers had a power play on the Joel Otto hold that the Flyers ended up capitalizing on for their shorthanded goal, only to see the Rangers come rocketing back and tie it. Ooh. the game, you get out of breath just sitting here watching it. I mean, it's been really intense the last 10 minutes of this hockey game.
Took care of John LeClair. He's back out. Faceoff will come to the right here. Messier's had a tremendous night on draws. One of the reasons the Rangers had the advantage. He won that one to Samuelson, and he cleared it out. Mark Messier has just won face-off after face-off here in this game.
He's about 500, but the big wins have been when he's had to win them. So very often, when you win that 500% of your face-offs, and he's won them in the right place, most of them.
Brandamore had to come back to get it. Power play still underway. Turn around. Leach put the hit on. Lindros center. Johnny Neiman a shot deflected wide. That's a Tikkanen partially deflected that up and over the net. 42 seconds left here in the period. Philadelphia trying to win it right here on a power play goal. Paul Coffey. Shot. Save. Richter. Rebound. Oh, Richter. Rebound. Knocked away. Off the glass by Tikkanen. Brandamore denied, but could have been the game winner. Johnny Neiman again. Save. Richter. Rebound. Lindros. Shot. It's still loose. Covered by Richter.
What a game Mike Richter is finishing up with. Remember that shot in the first period that went post to post? And we thought Mike Richter may be standing there saying that's a good omen. I don't know what happened to Rod Brind'Amour. It looked like he had a wide open net, and Mike Richter absolutely robbed him. Shot from the point. They were playing tic-tac-toe back at the point. Rod Brind'Amour moved in as Eric Lindros was fighting it out front. Maybe we'll see it on this one. A screen. Mike Richter with the save. Oh, man. Rod Brind'Amour shot it low, and it looked like he might have shot it kind of back into Mike Richter. And then the last save. Over for the one-timer by Niinema. Pad save. Lindros being held up barely by Doug Lidster, but enough for Mike Richter to make the save. This is another night in the crease, huh, Michael?
A sterling performance here by both of these goaltenders at different times in this game. Richter, though, called on here in the third. The double minor up on the board. 22 seconds left in the regulation. 2:47 on the power play. The Rangers shorthanded. Coffey, Graves able to knock it away. Dan dropped it back. Coffey gets it back into the zone. Center. Backhand shot. Wide. Rebound. Lindros. He scored! Eric Lindros with 6.8 seconds left has given the Flyers a 3-2 lead.
Can you believe this finish? I bet you Mark Messier can't. Absolutely amazing. The Rangers cleared the zone on that faceoff. There is a review here. The Rangers cleared the zone only to have the Flyers come back. Rod Brind'Amour made a magnificent play, and then it was surpassed by John LeClair's pass to Eric Lindros. And then, to me, Lindros's backhand in the sharp angle was surpassed by LeClair's play. Watch this amazing sequence here as we tick down Brind'Amour. A beautiful little pass. Watch LeClair know that he's in no man's land. He just tries to go for Lindros. And then Eric Lindros with the backhander had to get over Adam Graves and into the net. Are you kidding me? Can this be happening? This is amazing.
Eric Lindros, their captain and leader, has given them a 3-2 lead. A power play goal with 6.8 seconds remaining in this game. It is his 4th goal of this series. His 10th of the playoffs. When Eric Lindros has scored, Philadelphia has gone 8-1 in the playoffs.
Absolutely amazing. Mike Richter is kicking himself in the rear end. Now he's saying, I overplayed LeClair. I had a guy on him. He was on his backhand anyway. But, I mean, how would you think that John LeClair is going to thread a pass through 3 Rangers to Eric Lindros, and then Lindros was going to shoot a backhander from an impossible angle with Adam Graves on the ice in front of him? What execution. I'll tell you what, that passing play was unbelievable.
We have had 3 goals scored in this game in the final 5 minutes of play here. Well, Lindros credited LeClair and Brind'Amour at 19:53.
We should have known from game 3 with what happened in the third period. I mean, the goals just started to come and they never stopped coming. Mike Richter did everything he could do to get there, but he was just beat. Lindros had to get something on the shot. He had to get it up over Adam Graves and up over Mike Richter, and he did them both.
Flyers with a chance to go up 3-1 are just seconds away. Richter, of course, will be on the bench here, even though face-offs at center. The Rangers got to try and get one. It is still a power play for Philadelphia. 2 minutes remain up on that one. And for the Rangers, they are staring right now at a 3-1 deficit in this series. Timeout has been used here. The Rangers will get Messier, Graves, Leach. Now they've got to reset the clock. That's the delay in the face-off. Courtnall stays out. Joel Otto will be out there to take the face-off against Adam Graves. Leach trying to move in. Desjardins flipped it away. Chance by Tikkanen wide of the net. And the Philadelphia Flyers, in an amazing finish, have taken a 3-2 victory from the Rangers and a 3-1 lead in this series.
And Eric Lindros, who absolutely took a beating in this hockey game, because that's what the Rangers had to try to do. And they did a magnificent job of stopping that big Legion line for most of this hockey game. But as great players are supposed to do, and Eric Lindros is now officially a great player. When it is on the line, they're supposed to come through.
He is rising to the occasion and getting it done. Our final score here, Flyers win at 3-2. Our coverage continues. Western Conference Finals exclusively on ESPN. Red Wings and the Avalanche will be coming your way tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern. Stay tuned. Baseball tonight coming up. All the day's highlights will be coming your way. For Bill Clement, Brian Englew, and all of our crew, I'm Gary Thorne. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Good night from New York.